video that he took down, Dylan Burns. Oh shit, should we do this first? Let's do this first. This is President Sunday.
You are a guy who makes videos in a bathrobe about interpersonal conflicts between internet streamers in the hope that the ones that you are siding with will invite you to their streams so that you can maybe gain some of their views.
Wait a minute! President Sunday, that's literally you! That's literally you! Are you Kaiba too?
For yourself, among the people you suck up to constantly.
Wait, no, Kaiba's saying this, right? So wait, is maybe Bad Empanada is Yu-Gi-Oh?
There are actual proven sexual predators who have threatened their victims with rape. You are the very end of the human centipede of
Garfield?
Out, consuming 15th hand feces.
Oh, I get it. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, President Sunday. I did not give you the. There's a little YouTube comment here. Right, so President Sunday made a comment maybe on Bad Empanada's channel. Yeah, it's on Bad Empanada's channel because the like is a Bad Empanada like. So this is on Bad Empanada's channel. President Sunday opined, you're a very pathetic person, George. And Bad Empanada's responding, and this is what Kaiba's saying. So Bad Empanada's Kaiba, I got it.
Praying that doing so will make you relevant. I, on the other hand, am beholden to absolutely no one, able to do absolutely anything I want.
So does that mean President Sunday is Yu-Gi-Oh?
Because people watch my content for its actual worth, rather than for which internet video creator it happens to be siding with. There is more worth in 1 second of any of my video essays than all of your videos combined.
Okay.
Good try though, my friend.
Okay.
Gotta say, I admire the desire to just give me layups like this.
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell. Is that like is this President Sunday posting his L's? Anyway, we always appreciate President Sunday, famously memed DJ Mule as Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman from Sonic, and now I guess Bad Empanada is Kaiba. So, although maybe Dracula. Look, like it looks like he's Dracula. Wait, no. This is like somebody from Yu-Gi-Oh, right? This isn't Dracula. This is not Castlevania here. Anyway, this is the one. That's the one. Okay, so Keffals is everything I hate about British colonialism. I guess this video got taken down. This is the video specifically about the Northern Ireland thing. It is now back up, right? So gloves are off. Wait, what? How many fucking videos? Oh god, I keep on saying the F word. Wait, 1 day ago. Okay, there's a lot of videos, aren't there? There's a lot of videos. We got a lot to cover. Let's get to it.
Hey guys, so here's a bit of a follow-up regarding the completely ridiculous discussion that I had with Keffals yesterday. So if you don't know what happened, I highly suggest you don't actually go and watch the video. It's a complete...
Are we okay at 1.25 speed? We got a lot to cover. Is that all right with everybody? Let me know. Let me know if it's too fast.
Waste of your time.
Sophist Joker.
Keffals invited me on her stream because
Spark the Blood, good to see you.
I thought we were going to talk about something that had happened to her that she told me she wanted to clear the air on or something because we talked about it in private, and I guess she wanted to talk about
Twitch
it
audio's fine too.
And she ended up like confronting me with the most bizarre allegations about me, according to her, wishing death upon her anonymous anarchist Twitter friend 2 years ago. And then she started screaming about like how I am a gaslighter, I am a misogynist, and how I am...
Now, somebody in chat said kayfabe. That's a possibility, right? Pants on fire level? Yeah, that might be an explanation. Maybe for Keffals, she is trying to signal to her friend that this is all for show, right? Because there's like she's the victim of expectations, maybe, right? There's the expectations that Bad Empanada has maybe for Keffals to talk to him like a human being. There's the expectation that the Vosh Clout Network has for her to talk to him as not a human being, and maybe she's just caught in between those two.
You know, just like doing terribly redeemable shit to her. I'm a piece of shit, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it was just such a massive joke.
Do we have a YouTube chat today?
She herself engaged in the same sort of behavior that she was supposedly announcing, as she actually admitted during the conversation.
No, look at that. That's not right.
She's a massive suck-up and like just openly lauds people like Josh who have said things like this, just to give you a bit of a refresher.
I was swarmed by people.
Oh, well, YouTube chat, just so you know, I can read everything you're saying, okay? Even if you're not on screen, I can read what you're saying. We'll fix that later, maybe.
Calling me a transphobe, calling me a bigot, calling me a reactionary, calling me a grifter, calling me a bad faith actor, calling me like cis-centric. I was called a Strasserite. That's a left-leaning Nazi or a socialist Nazi. I was
trying to figure out what's showing up on stream. It's like my food.
Pretty much every negative thing that you can call me. And the same thing happened here. And this was just in response to Thoughtsline blocking me. These people are subhuman, and I want them to kill themselves.
Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that she's responsible
oh my God,
for the behavior
not good.
of other people who she happens to
not good.
associate with. But she's certainly, obviously, not genuinely concerned with what she accuses me of having done, considering that she's both done it herself and she just openly talks about how fucking great that guy is when he just basically told hundreds upon hundreds of people to kill themselves because they had insulted him on the internet. Like, give me a fucking break. But anyway, so obviously there must be some sort of ulterior motive for her, like, just coming at me with these random made-up allegations that she herself has also admitted were made up by them.
So, like, there's like two conversations that could happen. There's one conversation that is like, hey, you went to Ireland, you seem to have gotten your picture taken with cops there in Ireland. You do know the history of those particular like police organization, right? You know, that could be a conversation. Slash, you know, you said something bad about my friend. That could be a conversation. There's another conversation though that could happen that starts with like, hey, why are you defending Vash? And Bad Empanada is not trying to force like any of these conversations. Like, Bad Empanada is fine having whatever conversation that Keffals wants to have, but it sounds like he's like, I would be confused too, right?
But I honestly don't understand where this sort of audacity comes from, but she randomly added me as a friend on Discord again a short while ago and like just was talking to me like nothing had ever happened. And she's been like posting on Twitter and shit, calling me insane, saying that she would never talk.
I think Keffals tries to bail on the conversation because she's drunk. Okay, now I will admit, okay, we have seen a little bit of drunkles lately, right? Not judging or anything like that. And I don't want to get into that too much, right? Because I know that some people have, you know, like a lot of people have issues and stuff like that, right? So, like, I don't know what's going on with that. You know, it's fine to enjoy yourself on stream. I sometimes, you know, have been known to get faded than a hoe on stream, right? So I'm no one to judge at all, right? But Keffals has been enjoying the martinis on stream. As far as whether or not she was inebriated for the Bad Empanada conversation, we got two different quotes from Keffals. One of them saying, I'm too drunk to talk to you. Can we please not do this right now? And another one saying, I wasn't drunk at all. So which one is real? I don't know.
To me again, it's all just
Bosh really bad, yeah.
Lies. She's just a huge liar.
Like, I didn't even expect that.
Like, look at this shit. I will never.
The T in LGBT stands for tequila.
I talked to Bad Empanada again. Lol, dude is a freak. And then she sought me out to talk to me again today. And then she engages in. They love this for some reason. Like,
okay, now here's what. Yeah, here's an important part, right? Who started this engagement? Who DM'd who? Who wanted to talk to who? Keffals wanted to talk to Bad Empanada, all right? That's going to become relevant in just a little bit.
Just random ableism. This was so fucking stupid. This guy needs to see a therapist. Okay, so I've honestly never seen anyone who is better deserving of the label of snake than this. Like, considering what she just said
so Snakels
to me in Discord DMs, which I'm going to go over right now. Like, I'm not going to provide. I don't need to provide you with any sort of narrative regarding this because this also really speaks for itself. Okay, the context is, you know, what I went over earlier. I thought she wanted me to come on a stream to talk about something that we had already settled in private that she wanted to make more public or something. I don't know, whatever. But I was happy to just talk about whatever. And then she decided
you
to
saw
like
the Keffals video earlier.
Me, I guess to like cater to like her liberal audience who like is really invested in these sorts of interpersonal creator dramas where they just love to see the fighting between creators and stuff. And for that, like you know, they make their judgments on what's true or not based on what the creator they like said and what the creator they don't like said. You know, that sort of thing. And that's pretty clearly what she was trying.
I mean, that is really true, right? And when people do stuff that doesn't make sense, like the way that Shark did earlier. Remember we saw Shark earlier make something up about Bad Empanada, like just completely repeat something that had no basis in fact, right? What is Babel? Babel's like I shouldn't compare it to any of their competitors because Babel is incomparable, right? Babel's just like, you know, heads and shoulders above all of the competitors, which no one in chat will mention, right? Babel is a language learning program, right? So if you want to learn a language for business, for pleasure, for edification, for cultural enrichment. There's so many reasons to want to learn a language, and Babel has a ton of languages that you can learn pretty easily, right? I'm gonna get into that a little bit later, but thanks for asking, Jules.
To you know, the sort of thing that she was trying to engage.
Is it Babel? Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Babble.
Agent here, which is why she just randomly confronted me like it was some sort of expose on me, and she just sort of ended up admitting that she does.
Well, like, look, if you're in the Vosh Clout network, just saying ha 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 Bad Empanada is an expose in and of itself. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to show anything. You just say Bad Empanada, and everybody's like, oh yeah, the bad guy, the wrestling heel, Bad Empanada. Yes, that's who.
And she was accusing me of, and now in these DMs, it just makes it look even fucking worse. And you fucking bet I'm gonna leak this shit. Like, what the fuck? She apparently says to me that I was her friend in these DMs. Like, I don't think that was ever the case. I'm not friends with any random internet creators online. I'm not friends with anyone online.
Like, Demon Mama said that she was my friend. Yeah, sometimes people have a weird idea of what friends. Like, I barely ever talked to. I mean, like, I shouldn't say barely ever talked to Demon Mama. Obviously, I talked to Demon Mama on stream, but we didn't really talk much outside of that.
My friends are people in real life. I'm sorry, but I did think we were like friendly acquaintances.
Keffals has a history of ableism. I have heard. She made fun of one of my mutuals and implied that he is a shit father because he was on disability. That's troll. That's messed up. Keffals was framing it like they were friends for years.
It's like, we talk.
Oh, get ready to see how Keffals is gonna frame it in just a second. You're gonna love this.
A little bit exchange of a couple lines of text every few months, basically. So I thought, like, she wanted to come on to like have an actual useful.
I'm confused too, Len. I'm confused too.
Like this dumb fucking internet streamer drama debate thing, and then after that, she has the audacity to like send me a friend request and talk to me again, like nothing had ever happened. And let's go over that now. So here is the entire conversation. She adds me as a friend. I say LOL immediately because, I can't fucking
LOL.
Just try to talk to me or something. Hello, what seems to be the problem? I linked to the video that we just played on stream about Vorsh, and she's like, can we have a discussion with me without thinking that I'm Vorsh? I don't get it. Well, the thing is, I'm linking that not because I think you're Vorsh. I'm linking it because I think it shows that you don't genuinely give a shit about the shit that you were supposedly denouncing me for doing. Because you let this guy just say that he wants like hundreds of people who don't like him to kill themselves. You don't give a shit about that. Yet you're happy to post on Twitter about how you're never going to talk to me because I am insane. Interesting. And and I said that to her. I am Keffals. I am very much against being mean to Twitter anarchists. Oh, funny about that. Okay, so how is it not relevant that you suck up to this guy? She says, no, I don't. I said, who tells every trans person
Am I correct that Keffals has a special thing for anarchists, like a special place in her heart for anarchists?
He dislikes to kill themselves. If you care about that, why haven't you epically confronted
Yeah, and it's a good thing that he wasn't specifically telling anybody to do that. Like, he was just saying that, like, and to everybody who disagrees with me or whatever, because that could have gotten him in trouble.
Live. Then Keffals says,
that could have gotten him in bad trouble.
I epically confront people live. That's not what I do. I feel like you don't understand my deal. She literally did just do that to me. So yeah, I said, you just tried, it did not go well. And she said, no, I never wanted to talk to you. That's patently false. Let me show you. Hi, Bad Empanada.
Yeah, that's right. To Pelzy. I might have mispronouncing your name. Is it Pelzy? Gosh, I'm going to say your name wrong. Internet friends, correct.
Was wondering if you'd come on my stream to talk because we kind of left things off rocky. Okay, Keffals, you never wanted to talk to me. That's why you talked to me to invite me to your stream. You fucking lying snake. It's incredible that she accused me of gaslighting in our conversation, whatever, or if you could even call that a conversation, considering the gaslighting that she engages in here. Actual gaslighting. Yeah, and then she says, I made you look insane, though. You genuinely have to be, like, just completely delusional.
Wait, I mean, the sad thing about Empanada is she's right. Right? She made you... Here's the frustrating thing, right? Okay, now we all saw this, right? And, like, Bad Empanada was just kind of like a person responding to another person in a conversation. Nothing wrong with that, right? But when Keffals shows it to her largely Voshite audience, like, you don't have to do anything, right? Like I said, just the fact that his name is Bad Empanada is enough to achieve that effect of, making him look insane, right? Do you sign up for a lifetime subscription with Babel? Are any of the subscriptions helpful? I think that any of the subscriptions are helpful. Obviously, don't do anything weird, right? I don't want you to, like, try to trick them or anything like that, because they don't like that. They will notice, right? If you sign up on my thing and like sign up and then take it off or whatever, right? So they don't want you doing that. But yeah, I think like any subscription that you want helps me out. Yeah. I think I'll read more about it. We'll get into that. I'm so glad that people are interested in my sponsorship. Usually that's the hard part, to sell. But yeah, like I finally found something that I think people actually are in. Like, I think a lot of people like to learn languages in here. So this is maybe a more useful product than some of the products I've been sponsored by in the past.
She thinks that she came out looking good from that conversation. I said, you embarrass yourself? She says, not really. I say,
well, the thing is, like, it doesn't matter for her audience. Her audience is not going to judge her for the ridiculous nature of that conversation. The audience is just going to blame that on you. Like, you got to understand that's how it works, right? And so there's a reason, right, not to do content with these people, okay? Like, if, like, let's say that Shark invited me on. Okay, Shark comes and says, no comment, chick, we've had our problems in the past. I want to talk to you, you know, let's see if we can work this out, right? And if Shark brings me on and makes me, you know, and comes, you know, like is mean to me, right? There's nothing that I could say. There's nothing that I could do that's going to change Shark's audience's mind, right? Shark has a big megaphone and I have a little bitty megaphone. Like, you know, all that happens is I take a hit to my reputation, right? If something like that were to happen, right? Same thing with Keffals and Bad Empanada. Although, let's be honest here. Wait a minute. I'm wrong. You know why I'm wrong? Because although Keffals YouTube has got some subs behind it now, it does not have some views behind it. Like, the subs to views ratio is poor, is not good, is bad, right? So yeah, maybe Bad Empanada actually has the advantage on YouTube. On Twitch, I would say Keffals has the advantage. NCC is rising though, true. Shakespeare already knows all languages, and Shakespeare has an awesome new emote too. I need to use that.
Well, then she says, I don't get why you're acting like this when we are friends. And I said, we clearly are not friends. Question.
Vosh, San, etc. are going to react to this edited video. Yeah, exactly. And she edited it too, just like Bad Empanada said she would. Anyway, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting in the way of Empanada explaining.
Mark, it's her reaction. She's got to be
reacting too hard.
And I said, and you asked me to come on your stream. She says, I backed out because I wasn't feeling up to talking about Ireland. You came into my chat to confront me on it after. No, I came in her chat to like get her to read Discord. I said like, yo, are we talking? Yeah, dude, that's really confronting. Such a confrontation there to like come in chat and get you to like.
They had scheduled a, you know, they had scheduled a talk, right? That's why he came in.
Respond to me on Discord because I didn't know if we were going to fucking talk or not. And she's like trying to frame it as like her being forced into a conversation she didn't want to do, a conversation that she had asked me to engage in, that I was doing for her benefit. She says, like, I wanted you to shit on me for easy clout. What? Any of you can go and watch that conversation. I was like trying to bring up topics to talk about that we would mutually agree on. Like, I came on there to shit on her. There's no fucking way that you can watch that and come to that conclusion. No fucking way.
That's a Buffy geek emote, yes.
She was attacking me the entire time. I was merely defending myself. And then I said, like, you know, sarcastically, I wanted to shit on you? She says, yeah. And then I said, anyway.
Yeah, smush that like button, YouTube.
Okay, so you blurted out, oh my God.
The other thing we need to do is this.
I may have to a random anarchist who is my best friend. Because that's what happened. She just randomly said that.
Let's do this.
We were in the middle of talking about like I don't remember what it was, but you know, it was something else, her channel or something. And she just randomly blurted that out to me. And she responds saying,
let's do this.
I even said in that conversation, that guy isn't my friend. And I said, yes, you said they were your friend, then backtrack. That is true. She was started out saying, this person is my friend. How could you say that to my poor friend? And then later on, she decided that they weren't actually her friend. She says, formally, we don't really talk anymore. I think anarchists are annoying. I said, after you also noted that you engaged in the same behavior that we were moralizing about. And she says,
like I said, Keffals really likes anarchists.
I said that to a neo-Nazi who was active in my Kiwi Farm thread. And I said, but in the conversation, you said there is no line where it would be okay, as you argued, which she did. And she says, why are you doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Are you fucking kidding me? She says, yeah, you're acting really strange. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This is what happens when you don't interact with real people, guys. Let this be a fucking warning. Like, holy shit. I keep like my YouTube shit entirely separate from my real life. And that's the best way to go about these things. I don't want to be friends with anyone on here. I don't want to, you know, talk to them a ton or anything. You know, I talk to other creators, like 2 or 3 of them, like once or twice a month, just like we exchange a couple of words about something. You know, they're not my friends or anything. I think this is like a symptom of someone who just doesn't really have like any sort of separation between their real life and their online life. Because there's no fucking way that you could think that I was acting strange here. Like, imagine your friend just randomly blurting out some allegations at you in like an amicable conversation that they then force you to defend yourself against for 30 minutes while attacking you and calling you every possible name under the sun. Now imagine them doing that publicly, live on stream to like an audience of a few hundred people, because that's what she did. If you think that's normal behavior, you have a whole other thing fucking coming. If you legitimately cared about the shit that you were confronting me on, rather than just trying to form like you know, like get some sort of cloud out of it, or like present it to like a live audience, like you were epically confronting me on something that you thought that I would have no response to, which obviously you kind of failed at, you would have said it to me in private, right? Not that it's like morally wrong for to just not keep things in private. I'm obviously not doing that here. But if she had really cared about that, she would have talked to me about it in private or something. She obviously didn't care about it though, because she said the same shit. And people who she's friends with and sucks up with say way worse shit. And as you're going to see here, she made it up anyway, okay? And then I said, I came on to talk to you about something awful you went through because you had asked me to, and you instead did whatever the fuck that was. And then she says, yeah, I was hoping to clear it up. And I say, shut the hell up, Jesus Christ, you have no concept of reality. Yeah, because how the fuck can you be like, yeah, I was just hoping to clear this up after that? No, you weren't. That was so fucking far from that. She's like, why are you telling me to shut up? I'm being nice. I've known you for years. No, you fucking haven't. You don't know anything about me. And thank fucking God you don't, because when you're this much of a fucking snake, God only knows what you would do with my actual personal information. Say, gaslighting girl, whilst I have the privilege of not needing to suck up to every random liberal for clout because my channel is not based on things like clarifying the necrophilia.
This makes me want to make a version of God Only Knows with like Bad Empanada and Keffals, like,
allegations. That's a reference to a video that she has on her channel. Like, look at her channel, man. I can't believe that in her talk with me, she got like indignant at me for saying that, hi, this shit isn't real politics. This shit doesn't matter. Consulting my friends on her controversial tweet. Did you fuck a corpse? Bad Bunny. Liar, grifter, manipulator. My conversation with Keemstar. I talked to Keemstar. The court.
Bye-bye monetization. Damn it.
Andrew Callaghan apology. At least that's like everything that matters.
God.
Talking to another streamer. Why people hate me.
Why do these streamers have to be such trash? Why are we even talking about this?
Streamer. Like, dude, come on. You're not going to tell me this is real, meaningful content. Give me a fucking break. Like, I might make my main channel content because it's a job, right? But it's still so much infinitely better than that shit. Jesus Christ, give me a break. And I'm still grounded about the relative unimportance of it all. But anyway, so I blocked her after that. And then I kind of realized that she was like really making herself look bad here. So I accepted another friend request from her and decided to like just keep talking to her honestly and see how fucking bizarre this can get. So she says, hi again, thank you for accepting. And I say, I genuinely cannot believe that you would have the gall to act like I was trying to farm clout off you. She says, you said the same of me though. Yeah, because did you see what you fucking did? I didn't do anything like that to you. What the fuck are you talking about? You, like, confronted me. Everything that I've done since then is a defensive reaction. You'd never done that. None of this would be happening. Jesus. And then I said, I came on to clear things up as you had asked. She tried to call me. I ignored it. And I said, you tried to put on a show. She says, I don't care about this shit. Yes, you do, obviously. She says, yes, but not in the way you think. And then I said, I came on your stream because you had heavily implied you wanted to go over and clear up what had happened to you in Ireland. I was doing it for your benefit, not mine. I wasn't even going to go live. I only decided to at the last moment because I saw people in your chat unironically saying like, OMFG, you're going to platform Bad Empanada? And I thought that I should record it just in case you tried to pander to them. I was correct. Yeah, very good defensive reaction. Very good foresight from me. Always be prepared, if you're a public figure, for people to just dishonestly attack you when they're trying to claim that, that they're engaging with you for another reason. Yeah, so I protected myself and I was obviously right to because she did exactly that. And she says, no, because I didn't want to talk. I backed out. I made that clear.
This is a good example of a white woman doing a quote-unquote defensive attack.
Bullshit.
Yeah, true.
She said to me 18 minutes before the time that she had organized with me, remember, she had organized this with me, that she was drunk, she didn't want to talk. And I thought, okay, you're drunk. We can still talk. You're drunk, whatever. That's not a reason not to talk. Because if there was a more profound reason, she should have told me that. So, you wanted me to like not be like, oh, come on, let's talk anyway. You should have given me, like, being honest about the reasoning, right? Like, because you claim that it was because you didn't want to talk about that shit because you didn't feel comfortable. Great, but I couldn't have known that because you didn't tell me. You told me it was just because you were drunk. How is it that you weren't comfortable talking about that shit, but you were comfortable, like, getting into a fucking yelling confrontation with me about shit that clearly doesn't matter to you at all, and that you admit in this chat, we'll get to it again in a second, never happened. Give me a break. And then I said, so that you didn't want to talk makes it cooler than normal that you instead decided to start a confrontation about Twitter DMs to a random anarchist on Twitter 2 years ago when everything was calm and I clearly had no intention of farming clout. And she says, if you had no intention of doing that, why'd you upload the conversation basically immediately? So you can't justify claims that I intended to do that with something that happened after the fact. The reason why
okay, so Bad Empanada, yeah, he's going to explain why he uploaded that immediately,
uploaded that conversation to protect myself because I know how this shit fucking works. You would give that clip to your editor. Your editor would try to edit it favorably to you to try and make me look bad and to make you look good. So I preempted that by uploading the conversation myself. I never even would have thought of uploading it if we had just talked about what we had planned to do, because that would be something for you to upload. We'd be talking about shit more relevant to you. It's not something that I would upload to my own channel. But like, I chose to upload it after the fact because of what you had done during the conversation. This is so fucking slimy. Like the level of gaslighting here. I hate to use that word. It's so meaningless, but this is actual gaslighting. And she accused me of it in the conversation. She says, I don't care. You are correct. It's all theater. It's all about cloud and money. I don't have any pretense that I'm doing politics or activism. She was on the fucking brink of crying in our conversation because I dared to claim that like the shit that we engage in, this sort of drama shit, isn't important and isn't real politics. Just look at her fucking channel. We just went over it, right? You're not going to tell me that's real politics or activism. Give me a fucking break. And then I said, because you had literally just confronted me out of nowhere.
So just for anybody watching, maybe sponsors, this is not real politics. Just so you know, this is clout. This is confrontation. This is drama. But this is not politics.
Absolute dumbest shit ever. Yeah, that's why I uploaded it and tried to frame it as something deeply serious. And then she just changes the subject. You gotta admit, though, exiting the convo by saying Logan Paul gave my cat an abortion was really funny. Ha 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 ha, I'm laughing.
Okay, so, can anybody explain the joke to me? I don't get it. Why is that funny? Logan Paul most recently in the news for scamming people with it wasn't RTX, it was like some kind of crypto stuff, right? Yeah, what is the joke? Well, the joke, okay, I'm not gonna say it, right? What Bad Empanada just said, right, is the joke about Logan Paul performing a surgery to eliminate a pregnancy in a cat, right? Is there a... She's trying to be funny, but like, yeah, usually funny things like it references something, right? And I just don't know what the reference is. Like, all I know about Logan Paul is that he scammed, he got caught by CoffeeZilla, and then he apologized. That is literally all I know. Drama, yeah, no, I mean, like, this is drama, though. This is definitely drama. This is definitely not politics.
I said, I guess you only had two options. We talk about the island stuff, or you pretend that you're outraged by Twitter DMs to a random imperialist asshole from 2 years ago. There was no other potential choice. And I mean, yeah, that's the point. If you don't want to talk about the thing that we were originally planning to talk about, does that mean your only other option when we did come to talk,
good point. With Roe versus Wade affecting part of the trans community, this is not funny.
Like,
true.
Accuse me of something that you yourself admit had never actually happened, and scream at me about it and call me like a piece of shit, say that I'm gaslighting you, say that I'm a misogynist for trying to contest your allegations. Like, give me a fucking break. What is wrong with this? This is an absolute fucking snake. I didn't want to pile on to Keffals. Like, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt up until this point, but a lot of the shit that people accuse her of is bullshit. But like, just her on a personal level, being an absolute lying fucking snake, that is clearly the fucking...
Yeah, good point. VP people like Vosh and Keffals being community leaders disenfranchises parts of our community, right? Breaks up solidarity. That's the problem. I don't talk about them because like I have something personal against them. I don't, right? I talk about them in this way because I think that they are a stumbling block to liberatory movements, right? And like that sounds silly in the context of this weird drama to even say that, but yeah, that is kind of what we're here for, right? Yes, drama drives the attention economy, true, okay? But hopefully it's not really what you're about at the end of the day. Otherwise, that's just kind of empty, right?
Case, just looking at this. And she says, option free, not given to peer pressure.
Okay, so Logan Paul bought a pig that ended up being abandoned. Oh my gosh. People said he had a sketchy history with other pets. Oh no, I didn't even know about this. Okay, so this is a real thing. That's what I thought. I didn't think that Keffals is just gonna like randomly be like some weird LOL random stuff, right? Usually that's not what her humor is, you know, of the variety of a post, right? But it's usually not like completely meaningless. She knew she made herself look bad, so she tried to play it off to the whole chat as a joke. I don't think Keffals as a community leader, yeah. I mean...
Schedule the conversation for later. Like, trying to frame it as peer pressure. You could have just said...
I think that anybody who pays attention to Keffals' current content, who she is now as a streamer, right, knows that, Jules. But unfortunately, she did do some good work, like, in March, like earlier this year, last year. Yeah, last year Keffals did, you know, was at the forefront of several issues, right? So Texas legislation, etc., right? So yeah, no, and because she's so prominent, you know, that sort of puts her as a de facto leader in, you know, trans liberation, and that's a problem. That is a problem.
No, if you had not decided to go live with me, I never would have, you know, taken it personally or anything. You just told me I don't feel comfortable talking about this right now. Bam, easy. Instead, you told me that you were drunk. So I said, like, come on, you're just drunk. We can still chat. It's whatever. And that's not the only option anyway, because you did go live, right? So between these three options, I'm pretty sure there's others. I'm pretty sure, you know, you didn't have to turn it into like a confrontation. You didn't have to do that. There was no reason that you had to do that. No one forced you to do that. You chose to do that. So give me a fucking break. And I said, you know, there's no peer pressure. You could have said you were uncomfortable to me, but all I saw you say was that you were drunk, which seems far less serious. And she says, I wasn't even drunk. That's terrible, because being drunk was the only excuse for your behavior. I wasn't even drunk. I was trying to opt out of the conversation because it was making me upset. But we hadn't actually talked yet, so how was it already making you upset? You told me that you were drunk beforehand.
This is the part that's really, really, really confusing, okay? I was upset about that. I have trauma based on Ireland. That might be understandable, right? Keffals did have some, like, you know, bad stuff happen to her earlier this year that I think we all know about, right? Including in Ireland, right? So she says there's trauma associated with talking about Ireland. That's what it is, then that's what it is. Unfortunately, though, we're going to find out later, doesn't seem like that's really what it is. That's what's...
And I said, but either way, no, that's not the only option. The only option for how to treat someone who was coming on to talk to you as a friend and clear up something publicly that we had already cleared up in private was not to randomly scream about Twitter DMs that you don't care about anyway. And then she says here, also, apparently you didn't even send those DMs to my friend. Apparently you sent it to some random left com who is now suspended from Twitter. Zero idea what that is even about. Incredible, amazing honesty here from someone who definitely was not just trying to suck up to like certain streamers who don't like me and who basically define their entire online activity in like this prism of not like what I talk about, like the subjects that I talk about, what my political positions are, but rather who I like and who I dislike. That's how this works, right? All that really matters is who's saying what, not what they're saying. And Keffals is so fucking clearly, regardless of how much she's going to deny and how much she denied it in these chat logs, trying to suck up to people who she knows don't like me by just, you know, trying to burn the bridge with me in a way that she probably thought was going to go a lot better for her, but clearly did not in the end. And I said, even if you hadn't wanted to talk about it, it makes absolutely no sense that you did that. She says, I wasn't screaming, your audio levels were scuffed. Who cares? You were just like yelling at me with like a barrage of insults and shit.
Okay, I gotta agree with Keffals here. Audio is scuffed, yes.
Throwing out screaming is totally fine. And I said, you throw out ableism a lot.
As a white person with PTSD, I hate it when fellow white people use theirs to self-victimize, especially when being called out on racism and or grifting.
But if anything is insane, it's that you're here trying to argue otherwise. Like that, you know, what I meant by that was that like
she's all over the map, Jules. She's all over the map.
You know, what she did is what was wrong. What she did there is what was untoward. And it doesn't matter if she wasn't comfortable with the conversation, because we ended up talking anyway. And no one forced her to do the things that she did when we had talked anyway. We could have just had a nice calm chat about the topics that I brought up at the beginning. But she chose to bring that up literally out of nowhere. Go and watch the stream. It was so sudden. Like, it's unbelievable. She responds, I am ableist. Who cares? That's fine. Yeah, I am insane. I won't deny that. But you know you are less of a pussy than infrared by far. We can agree on that, right? What does that mean? And I just said, okay, good luck with the whole endlessly sucking up to liberal streamers.
So what is the infrared thing? I don't know. Keffals apparently has had a year-long subscription to infrared, right? Now, I assumed that, yeah, I know the infrared stuff is confusing. I assumed that that was like maybe a gift sub, somebody who gotten her a gift sub, but yeah, a year sort of implies that she's like, you know, renewing the subscription or going in there enough to get it renewed by, you know, infrared stands, right? I don't really know what's gone on with that. I have seen Twitch streamers in the past who do not know who infrared is, what he's about, get raided by infrared people or have infrared people in their chat and be way too nice, considering that the guy is a far-right MAGA communist, right? He's not a communist, he's a MAGA communist. In other words, like that's the stuff that Vosh used to get accused of, right? He unironically and unambiguously is, right? He is a you know, do-goodite, right?
Thing really makes it seem like you genuinely care about the things you denounce when you spend so much time trying to cater to the audience of people who tell trans people to kill themselves en masse and threaten to rape their harassment victims. You know, what else is there to say?
This is horrible.
I don't, holy shit, and then I just fucking blocked her and denied her friend request from here. I don't even know what to say about this. What the fuck is wrong with this person? Why are people like this? Why are people just fucking unable to assess, you know, political positions, arguments on their own merit, rather than just based on who is saying them? That's what is essentially the root cause behind this happening. Basically, I critique everyone. You know, if someone says something dumb that I disagree with, I don't give a shit if I'm on good terms with them or not. I'm happy to critique it. And that's basically what this is. I don't operate in the spectrum that these people operate in, which is, you know, being nice to people who are not
infrared spectrum,
nice to me, and mean to people who they perceive as having been mean to them or to their friends. And
Comrade Rose, are you in chat right now? Comrade Rose might actually have some insight on this. Since Comrade Rose has done content on the whole infrared thing recently.
Obviously, I'm perceived as having been mean to her friends, aka Vorsh, a known sexual harasser / guy who calls for trans people to kill themselves en masse. So I need to be confronted, because that's how the clout networks work. It's just such a fucking joke. This shit, you know, the logs honestly speak for themselves. What the fuck is wrong with this person, man? What the fuck is wrong with this entire sphere? This is just such a fucking joke. This shit is why I am so glad that I have never tried to make friends with other creators or with fans or anything, or with like anyone in this.
Yeah, you're definitely in no danger of making friends with me.
Politics. It's just such a fucking joke, you know? All I want to do is just, you know, stream once a week, upload some shitty clips from it, and make video essays, because that's my job.
Okay, so I'm trying to go in order. As you can see, there's more videos, right? But I want to go in order just so you get a sense of what happened when. I think the order is kind of important. Is that okay? Wait, I guess I gotta look at. This is not the next video. Okay, this is the next video. And this is super weird, right?
So I didn't really want to put out a video about this, to be honest, but there's a YouTuber right now who is currently lying about me quite a bit and trying to fling his...
Okay, so he's lying about you. He's the one that's lying? Lying by showing screenshots? Okay.
Much shit as possible for views. We've been friends for several years, and this entire thing is really unexpected, and I wanted to get into it because tomorrow I'm going to be uploading the incident that occurred on stream, and I kind of want to explain like the history here and what happened. So there's a YouTuber, his name is Bad Empanada. He does politics videos.
Yeah, this is wild.
And he has a second channel called Bad Empanada 2 where he just gets into drama. I asked him to come on my stream the other day. I wanted him to come on my stream because we had previously gone into a spat months ago, and he did a call-out video on me. And once I explained the situation to him, he realized that he just didn't have the background knowledge, and he took it down. So what the situation was...
No, I think that you explained to him that there was some trauma involved in this situation, and yeah, like maybe a little bit more about like why, you know, you were in photos with Irish cops, and like yeah, I mean, like there was also the Luna Oi thing, right? So as far as I know, I think I don't know, I think both of these videos were up from Bad Empanada calling Keffals out, one for attacking Luna Oi, two for, you know, doing propaganda with Irish cops, right? And after Keffals took down her video on Luna Oi, she got massive clap. She got in so much. Like a lot of people like really did not like that. She lost people from bullying Luna Oi, who, if you don't know, Luna Oi is not a drama personality. Luna Oi, her streams are about praxis. Her streams are about solidarity. Her streams are trying to teach like Western leftists something about leftists in the rest of the world, which, you know, is a sorely needed topic, right? You know, there's not a lot of understanding between leftists from different parts of the world, and so to pick on Luna Oi just was like kind of disgraceful, and she backed off. She backed off. She took down her video. Bad Empanada took down his videos. There's two videos, like one on the Ireland thing, the other one on Luna Oi. They were both taken down after Keffals took down her videos. That's my understanding. The attack on Luna Oi was racist. Yeah.
Is during all the Drop Kiwi Farm stuff. Well,
yeah, Irish policemen historically, maybe currently, just an arm of British imperialism. That was one of the main problems, right?
Was in Ireland. There were 5 swatting attempts.
Oh yeah, Luna Oi recently talked about the Khmer Rouge. Yeah, and the U.S. support, the U.S.'s hand in the rise of one of the most, you know, brutal dictatorships ever, right?
The police had come to the apartment I was staying in multiple times because some people were reporting stabbings and shootings and suicides. It was really fucking messy, to be honest.
Yeah, so they've been going. Yeah, right, Jabin. They've been going back and forth.
And after the person came, the stalker, who showed up outside the apartment or the flat that I was staying in with a note telling me to get out of their community and calling me transphobic slurs and claiming to be from a designated terrorist organization, which, you know, incredibly insane. I decided to meet up with a local member of the PSNI, Northern Ireland's police service. Now, I'm aware of the history there. I'm aware that Northern Ireland is a colony of the United Kingdom. I'm not stupid, but in this situation, I was legitimately afraid for my life and I needed police protection. So I met up with him and I was able to get that support.
I mean, that's amazing that you're able to get protection, right? Normally, all you can hope for from the police if you're a streamer is to call them, let them know that you're a streamer, that you have people targeting you, and so that if something like you know, if there's some claim made about you that gets the cops' attention, you put your phone number on file with them so they can call you and be like, yo, what's going on? Are you making these, you know, threats, or is this like somebody impersonating you, right? So that's part of what happened to Keffals, and it was understandable that she'd want to be on the list, but like most leftist streamers, you know, you're not gonna meet with the cops in person. You're gonna, now they might do things differently in Ireland. Maybe it was required. I don't have all the background, so I don't want to judge this too hard. But I will say that it seems a little strange. It seems a little strange, and especially, what you're gonna hear in a second is that, like, there were, kind of photos taken and put on Twitter that have the effect of showing this, this police organization as being somehow trans friendly, right? And I think that's what people had a problem with. Luna Oi is all about building an international socialist network with emphasis on the global south, so that some Western liberals get their fifis hurt about not being centered. True. I just have a hard time believing they will give some streamer preferential treatment, even if you do propaganda. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never heard of police protecting a streamer. Maybe but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of, like, protection you're gonna get there. So that's weird. That's legitimately weird. That was a good video. Luna.
On the way out of that meeting, he asked if he could take a photo with me. So I said, yeah, sure. He was really nice to me. So I was like, okay.
Okay, so this is the photo. It's I understand this is a police officer who's a gay man, Keffals and her friend in front of, it looks like, loads of love. Loads of love. And you got different, like, LGBT associated flags represented here, right? So this is like a booth, right? Like this is some kind of booth, and like, if you go to prides, sometimes, like, there's booths for different organizations that want to be seen as LGBTQ friendly. Sometimes they actually are friendly. Sometimes they are organizations specifically for the benefit of the community, right? But sometimes, depending on the organizers, you might have cops there, right? And it looks like this, whatever this is, they had cops there, and like, when they asked Keffals, can you take a picture with us? She obliged. The media officer for the Royal Irish Constabulary, which are the black and tans. If the cops have a booth at Pride, you aren't at Pride, you are at a propaganda film. Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of problems with this, understandably so, right? This is like, like the Pride organizations I've been involved with always try to keep the cops, out of it as much as possible. And when there's like when there's a group marching with you, there was, like, when I did, security for a Pride event, there was a group, there was like a group that was marching with everybody else that, stopped and took photos with the cops, and people did not appreciate that. All right, I'm not going to name the group, right? I'm not trying to call out like them or anything like that, but, like, yeah, people were really upset that they did this, right?
I'll take a photo. It gets posted to Twitter, and a whole bunch of leftists who love being mad at me but had absolutely no context for it decided to say that I was whitewashing the Northern Irish Police Service, which, no, I wasn't. I never said anything positive about the Northern Irish Police Service. So Bad Empanada decides, because of this, to put out a video calling me out.
And just so you know, Keffals, this leftist does not want to be mad at you. This leftist showed a lot of critical support for what you did earlier, but the closer you're getting to Vosh, like, the more I gotta, like, say, no, I'm not supporting this, right? Yeah, like, you have done really good things, okay? I won't lie. I mean, that's clear, but something changed. And the real, breaking point was you accepting a part in that White Leaf network.
Not because of that circumstance.
God. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Did I get in trouble? No, I didn't get in trouble. Somebody actually signed up for Babbel, which is great. That's amazing, right? I'll let you know a little bit more about Babbel in a second, and I'll actually take a lesson today. I'm going to take a French lesson. Since French is, I know a lot of French, so I should be pretty good at it.
Actually, in spite, because
and I need some, I need to brush up. Technically, she was pinkwashing the black and tans, so she's correct here.
I had made a video about Luna Oi being a landowner. Luna Oi is a
She banned all the people that critiqued her.
Vietnamese YouTuber who's got
I'm blocked too.
Gone into a lot of back and forth with other YouTubers. I really wasn't.
That's like not true. Has gotten attacked by a lot of YouTubers, particularly Demon Mama and Vosh. Right? I won't even say like a lot of YouTubers. Destiny, Demon Mama, and Vosh. Right? Like this portrayal of Luna Oi as a drama personality is ridiculous to anybody who knows about Luna Oi. Oh my god, Machine Soft Engineer, thank you for the follow. Meow, meow, meow.
Thinking much about that video, as I don't actually have really strong feelings about Luna Oi one way or another. But that's kind of the background. So months later, I decided to ask Bad Empanada to come on my stream. And when it came time to come on the stream, about 30 minutes before, I told him that I wanted to bail on the stream. You know, I'd been drinking, I felt uncomfortable. And the topic of Ireland is something that's very traumatic to me. I'm in therapy over all of the traumatic events that had occurred over the last several months of my life.
Yeah, Luna Oi is anything but a drama streamer.
So his response to that was to say, come on, and try and pressure me into it. People from his chat came into my chat and tried to pressure me into it. And then he himself came into my Twitch chat to pressure me into it. So I finally agreed.
Dream Blunt rotation includes Luna Oi. Nice.
The conversation happened. But I didn't want to talk about that. And honestly, I held my tongue on something.
So just to clarify, says Michael Casanova Music, the PSNI aren't the direct descendants of the Black and Tans. The Black and Tans were the British World War I vets who were paid to reinforce the police violently.
That had upset me for years. You know, I have to admit, like, over the years, I've had my tongue held on a lot of people who I've been friendly with.
Does that sound familiar? Anybody ever seen a video, the thumbnail of which is Demon Mama flipping off the camera? And it's about, I think it's called something like Demon Mama Unleashes Hell's Fury on No Comment Chick, right? Has anybody ever seen that video? I'm sure that if you're a fan of No Comment Chick, that video has crossed your feed at some point, right? And it's Demon Mama saying roughly the same thing. Like, I've held my tongue for a long time, but No Comment Chick has gone too far, right? And she's spreading some lies about me, and, you know, she's just, like, she's doing drama. She's literally doing drama. She's trying to, like, you know, signal everybody in her orbit that I am an enemy of the Clout Network. That's what that video is about, all right? That's what, like, it's her saying, if you have a problem with Dylan Burns, you have a problem with me. Let me make no bones about it. Let me try to lie about you. Let me try to hurt your career. Let me use my larger megaphone to attack a fellow trans streamer for speaking up for trans rights. That's where Demon Mama's at, right? So, you know, when you start off with this, like, I've held my tongue a long time about it, that is literally a script. That is literally a script that they use. And when they say that, they are lying. They are being untruthful and dishonest, right? If you don't have strong feelings, why make a video to trash Luna Oi, right? Yeah.
Because I don't like rocking the boat.
It's hard to take her seriously. It's giving a cult. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. There's a video by Illuminati that I want to watch that talks about the MAGA cult of personality. And I'm going to say that, like, I'm noticing some similar, not that I'm comparing Vosh to MAGA, but, like, I'm noticing some similar features to the you know, the way that the Vosh community works, right? What did Keffals do now? We're still dealing with the back and forth with Bad Empanada. So, like, after Bad Empanada put out the video on that shows the entire debate in context, right? Because he's afraid of Keffals preempting him on that and putting out an edited version, right? So he wants to put out his debate so that more people will see that ahead, you know, before seeing whatever Keffals kind of like puts out. And then he did another video saying, like, I don't even know what she's talking about here. Like, look at our DMs. Like, Bad Empanada shows the receipts, shows the DMs, shows Keffals contradicting a lot of stuff that she said in the debate, contradicting herself even within the DMs. Like, Keffals is just all over the place, right? You know, claiming to be a friend of Bad Empanada, but still, you know, like, oh, I made you look pretty crazy, didn't I? You know, like, it's just, it's hard, it's kind of incoherent. And it's incoherent. Oh, I can't turn that into a Keffals name. Anyway, that one. Demon Mama said you were based just a week before the Dylan thing. Demon Mama, yeah, said a lot of different things, like, right? You know, and honestly, like, if you had asked her about the issue apart from Dylan being involved with it. And this is what Bad Empanada was saying, is that this clout network prioritizes agreeing with, being on the same side with, being friends with, internet friends, whatever that means, with the with the right people over anything to do with the issues, right? So Demon Mama's required, even though I was right on the issue, even though like that's something that she would not have had a problem with. Is it a problem to platform a transphobe and let them gish gallop? Yes. For this reason, Demon Mama could probably, even without any prompting from me, tell you the exact reason why the gish gallop is a particularly problematic debate bro tactic to allow the use of in the context of trans rights or any kind of liberatory struggle, right? That's a really, that's one thing that you want to avoid. But when it came to, who's she going to be with, she absolutely was there to clean, Dylan's mess up for him. In Karen, oh my God, it's too hard, Rob. It's too hard. I can't do it. Is this because she slurred him by saying he was from Australia? Probably. Probably indeed.
And as I've said in the past, this is a different year, and I'm not going to be afraid. I don't want to get into these fights, but the situation with him was really unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't use Dylan derangement syndrome on me during that whole thing. They used VDS to denounce legitimate criticisms. So yeah, that's quite a bit of, oh my God, Trumpian aspect of the Clout Network.
And you'll see it when I upload the video tomorrow about the incident that occurred. Bad Empanada decided to tell this 20-year-old Asian American second-generation immigrant who all he does is post his political takes on Twitter. That's his entire thing. He slid into his DMs a kid with a history of mental health issues and said, he said, just kill yourself. Literally, he was inviting him to commit suicide. That's fucked up, I don't think that's acceptable. And in defense of this, he decides that that person who is formerly my friend, we talk every now and then, but regardless, his defense was, well, they're a Nazi. They're not a Nazi. They're not a fascist. But I can see why you would make that kind of defense. If you go onto Bad Empanada's channel, one of his most popular videos is him defending Stalin's mass murder and ethnic cleansing and genocide. I guess it's like if you label someone that you don't like as a fascist, you can immediately dehumanize them and justify anything against them. It's funny because that's what fascists do. That dehumanization tactic is literally what fascists do. So it turned into this thing where we went back and forth, and he tried to turn it into a debate about the ethics of when it is and is not okay to tell someone to take their own life. I decided to leave the conversation abruptly because.
So for the record, like she did, like, when she brought up him saying that, he brought up an instance where, she had said that, right? Like, so when she's like, I don't want to discuss the ethics of that, she's giving you the idea that that's because it's something I would never even consider. Oh my gosh. Saying like, right. And like, for several reasons, there's a good reason. Like, I am definitely not supporting that, right? I'm in favor of not telling people stuff like that, right? Not endorsing like self-harm, right? That seems like a pretty easy bar, but Keffals doesn't actually meet that bar. Right, neither does Bad Empanada, but so, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. There's a lot of she's relying a lot on her fandom being a closed system. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you try to introduce any information from outside what Keffals' the party line is, yeah, ironic that we're talking about Stalin here, right? When we're talking about. Right? If you introduce anything that's outside of the party line, you are going to be excised from that community, right? You cannot stay, right? She won't allow discussion of what really happened because it's too dangerous. She needs you to think that everybody who disagrees with her as a farmer, right? She needs you to believe that, and therefore anybody introducing outside information, like all of the outsides is just the farms, I guess, right? Anything outside the Keffals community, anything outside the Vosh Clout network, everyone's a farmer apparently. So yeah, it's a pretty tough war you're fighting there when it's like literally Keffals versus the world, right? But I mean, that is how the information flow works in there, and information flow or lack thereof is one of the aspects of a cult of personality, right? Which is what Illuminati is going to conclude that that Trump was doing. And I gotta say, I'm seeing a lot of parallels between that and the Vosh Clout Network.
I couldn't take it. It was a really fucking stupid conversation, and it was very upsetting.
Yeah, that kind of excised.
His response to this has been like 2 call-out videos on YouTube, and he's trying to say that I gaslit him and that I manipulated him and that I did the exact same thing that he did, even though the situation with me was
super ultra kappa. Anti-MLs have it so easy. At any moment you have many millions of different BS talking points you can throw out to serve your interests. Yeah, and you can just go with your own country's propaganda, honestly.
Saying that, like I told an
you could probably go back to McCarthy if you want to, right?
Neo-Nazi.
Oh no!
Who had been stalking me to take their own life.
I just realized we're gonna change that.
Through like a third party, I said, "Hey, can you tell them this?" And they did. I think that's a completely different situation. It's like, you know, as a trans person, as someone who a lot of people do legitimately want dead, I get a lot of people, a lot of insane, obsessed, unhinged people who wish harm on me all the time. And being able to stand up and say that to the people who want to hurt me is a very brave thing to do, even though it's a dangerous thing to do.
I would say it's a really cowardly thing to do, to classify anybody who disagrees with you on anything as being part of that group. And Keffals, you're doing that. Like, right? You were victimized. You were attacked. You were put into danger. All right? That's all true. But now you're accusing anybody who, you know, like has a problem with you maybe being less than sensitive to certain marginalized groups as being part of that. That's really, really dishonest. And that's why I got to get off the train and say no support, not even critical. Like, right, this is another sleazy, okay? Sleazy Vosh Clout Network member.
But I think being a guy in your mid-30s to early 40s and just saying this to some early 20-something Twitter anarchist because you don't like their political take, and then justifying it ad hoc because you think they might be a fascist when they are obviously not, is insane behavior. It's really fucking gross, and this entire situation is really dumb. I'm hoping that it ends up going away, but he keeps making these videos, so I thought I should make one. I think in the end, this bridge is burned. Like, we've been friends for years, which is the insane part of this all. And I even tried to apologize, but he would not accept a call. He kept insisting that I'm doing all of this for clout when we have very different...
Okay, so that corresponds with what we see from the DMs. There is a moment where the call comes in from Keffals to Bad Empanada. So that happened.
Different audiences, and I'm not going to gain
What's up, Gaia?
Literally anything out of this situation.
What's up, Rogue Dyke?
So I guess tomorrow when I upload the video, you'll see exactly what happened. But I hope that like in a week from now, Bad Empanada will stop lying about me and stop trying to manipulate his viewers and stop trying to gaslight me.
Oh my god. Okay, so there we go. So that's the second video that happened. So I'm trying to show you these in order as much as I can, just so you get a sense of, you know, what happened when is actually important here. We watched this one. That's the Luna Oi video. I don't know. That looks scary. You know, here's what's bad though, right? Is there are people, I don't know if this is one of those people, right? But there are people out there that still hate Keffals mainly because she harmed the farm. The farm was harmed, and they don't like that. They believe in free speech, and harming the farm is not conducive to that. Let's see. Let's take a look, because I know the next thing came from Bad Empanada, but I think that what came first was some community posts. So, wait, do we have Marx, Stalin, and Lenin behind her, right? This is when she was running for office under the Canadian Communist Party, the Canadian analog to the CPUSA. Okay, so like 2 days ago, so this is after the debate, right? He puts up his Keffals is everything I hate about British colonialism thing. Um, okay, we're not there yet. Yeah, yeah, okay, so I guess we're still looking for the video that's a I think also part of what this is 16 hours ago. Okay. That's 16 hours ago. When is the quote unquote apology? 15 hours ago. Okay, so this is the next one. All right. So here we go.
With Bad Empanada.
Now, this is where it gets weird. Right? This is where it gets really weird, okay? Get ready.
Hey everyone. So there's been a conclusion to the whole situation that I had with Bad Empanada. So after I put in my most recent video, he added me back on Discord and he said, Keffals, look, we've been friends for a really long time. Can we please bury the hatchet? And I can't stay mad at him. Like, we've known each other for so long. I was on a school field trip to Australia, you know? And I met him at an aquarium because he was from the Australian class that they also brought, so there could be a cultural exchange. And, you know, we stayed in contact after that for a long time. We played RuneScape.
Wait, they brought a Australian class to the aquarium. Anyway, if you don't know, yeah, this is not true. This didn't happen, right? This is a shitpost. That's what Keffals is doing.
Together, we played Habbo Hotel together, we played Counter-Strike Source together.
Did you close the pool together?
You know, we really got into Team Fortress 2 together. He usually played heavy and I played medic. We have a lot of good...
If you told me Keffals had made a particular avatar on the Habbo Hotel in order to close the pool, I wouldn't disbelieve you.
Memories together. And, you know, Jeffrey, I love you, man. I'm really glad you could come to your senses. Because our friendship...
Wait, I thought his name was George.
...really precious. And I have a surprise for you. I got a ticket, and I am going to Argentina to see you.
Yeah, so that's totally a ticket to Argentina. Yep, that's definitely, like, if you turn it around, it's gonna say flight from wherever Keffals is now to Argentina, to the beaches of Argentina, right? It's a weird troll for sure. I actually was a Forex student in Australia. What the fuck?
This time next week,
this is definitely
I'm
a
gonna be hanging
shitpost.
out with you, and we can stream together, and things can be how they used to be, like when we were kids. Like, fuck all this streaming bullshit. This is all fake. Let's just live the life we want to live. Let's be buddies again.
So you can do stuff like this. You can make shitposts, right? If you're like a known quantity. This is going to be confusing, and I'm curious. Like, right? Okay, so how many people know this is a... So it does, yeah, the whole duo can be Betty's again. Yeah, she says Betty's at some point, but she means buddies. Okay, so yeah, her community understands. I'm just curious if like somehow Bad Empanada is gonna be in the I'm still subscribed to both of you. Y'all wow. You are like the only one, Beat Boop. You are like the only one. I'm still subscribed. Sorry, I don't mean to be calling out like, you know, individual commenters or anything like that. I'm not trying to direct any if there's notable personalities like Gayfash, like we can, you know, read that. Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Oh, okay. Wow, really? 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 I mean, I was pretty sure I knew what this was. Wait, we watched this, right? Yeah. It's the video, the liar video. So this is 16 hours ago, right? So she makes the video, Bad Empanada posts. Posts this. It goes without saying, but just to be sure, this video is just made up BS. I will never speak to Keffals directly again, and I certainly will never forgive her. I think she's realizing just how much she effed up and is trying to play it off as a joke. Maybe? What do you think, chat? What is your thought on this, right? And then an hour ago, yeah, this is like old picture of Keffals with the busts of Marx, Stalin, and then Lenin. In that order, I don't know, or maybe it's Lenin, Stalin, and then Marx. Who knows, right? But bunch of books in the background. I'm just curious. Like, I would love to see, like, you know, it would be even funnier if there was like some Franz Fanon back here. You know what? Given what Keffals has become, it would be absolutely hilarious to see, like, you can't really see the books on her shelf, but like to see like. Okay, so here.
Oh man, this one isn't.
So if you thought there was receipts in the last one, just get ready. There's about to be more receipts. This is creepy. This isn't very funny. It's creepy. So chat thinks it's creepy. Any ideas as to what is Keffals' game? It's like, look, okay, so this would work on our Twitter. This would absolutely work on our Twitter because I think that she engages with people following her enough that they kind of know her and they know when she's, you know, joking and she's good at doing it on Twitter. I don't think that you know, shitpost came off that well though. I don't think she did it right. I'm just saying as a shitpost, like I don't think it was very well done. It was obviously really quickly made, and I think you're right. It seems like Keffals is trying to do some weird damage control. Yeah, maybe, right? To be honest, I'm asking myself why I'm watching this instead of sleeping. Drama is so entertaining. I understand why it moves people so much. Yeah, just she's reminding me of George Santos here, huh? A weird troll attempt? Yeah. I think she's trying to show it's not a serious fight.
Absolute doozy. You are not going to believe it. Keffals decided to go for, I'm actually the victim here, in her, like, random bizarre trying to start a conflict with me thing that, if you go over the evidence clearly shown in my last two videos, pretty fucking clear cut, right? So just look at this and try not to laugh. So she starts out by going over what happened to her in Ireland, which I haven't been talking about, by the way, because she confided in me about this. She left this out of the video, but she told me that the reason why she did PR for the Northern Ireland Police Service, which she was called out from on Twitter by many victims of British colonialism in Ireland, and she just blocked them all or called them all, you know, names or whatever. She told me that the reason that she had done that was because she was scared and she felt like she needed to, like, be nice to the cops and do this shit for them so that they would offer her better protection, you know, which is fine or whatever. But she tries to frame herself as, like, a victim here because, one, I put out a video on her doing that and also her attacking Luna Oi as part of, you know, the generic sort of racist attack campaign against Luna. And she tries to frame it like everyone knew her purported motivations for doing that when we didn't. It was private. And I made that video before she told me that. And when she told me it, I privated the video. Straight up, I privated the video because she'd given me context that changed my mind on the situation. And she's nonetheless here referencing the situation to try and gain, like, victim points against me, which is fucking insane considering she confided in me about this and I thought that I was supporting her through it. And her reaction to that was to invite me onto her stream and, like, try and confront me about some random drama that isn't even drama that she herself admits she doesn't care about and didn't actually happen. So let's watch.
Not because of that circumstance. It was actually in spite because I had made a video about...
It's not in spite. I would have made a video about fucking, like, anyone doing PR for a police service, especially colonial police service, while calling themselves, like, a leftist personality. That's not spite. That's just fucking, like, basic logic. Like, that's incredibly fucked up. And yeah, why not cover both things at once, right? Why would I? So it's really that fucking simple. She's, like, trying to frame it as me being obsessed with her when we're going to get to the logs that show that as, like, it's fucking, this Bad Empanada won't leave me alone and it's creepy. Every single time I've spoken to her.
Okay, so, like, right, like, I mean, I guess I'd, like, considering how I reacted to SDL's fans coming in here, trying to distract me from covering Steven Crowder versus Candace Owens or whatever we were covering that day, right? I can understand, I can appreciate. Can you all hear the background noise? The lovely background noise that I have been gifted? Is that coming through? Like, look, I can understand if something's a shitpost. I am not somebody, I don't have, you know, a popsicle stick inserted in any of my orifices, okay? Just to say that, right? You can't hear it. Good, good. I'm glad that it's not coming over. All right. It's annoying to me, but it's not annoying you, and that's what's important. So like, right, I'm okay with shitpost. If that's what it is, if that's what you're gonna do, if you're gonna do drama and you're not that serious about it, you know, fine, right? Or if somebody like tries to start drama with you and your response is like, let me meme on you with Steven Universe stuff, fine. Cool. That is doable, okay? But I don't know how to parse this, because either Keffals brought like, I'm being harassed by an obsessive streamer and I'm really uncomfortable with this into the meme, which is totally inappropriate, or Keffals was trying to play it off as I'm being harassed by this scary person, right? That is crying wolf, okay? Keffals literally, and as a person that has had somebody be obsessive and weird about me, right? Several people be obsessive and weird about me and then been told that I'm making it all up, right? As somebody who's been through that, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. Like, people said that I was crying wolf about the harassment that happened to me. People said some really awful stuff. People absolutely victim blamed me for that, right? This is something that happens. And for Keffals just to screw around with this like it's some kind of joke, like, right? Harassment isn't a joke. The harassment that happened to you earlier this year isn't a joke. The harassment that happened to me is not a joke. None of this is funny. Like, why would you do this, right? Because, like, here's what it looks like. It looks like you were trying to play the victim. It looks like you were trying to make this come off as, like, I don't know why, but this person's latched onto me and I'm really uncomfortable with this. And you know, like, I don't want to be involved in this and I'm scared. I don't know what he's going to do next, right? That was the video that you literally made. And then you turn from that to a shitpost, right? Showing that either you were trying to hurt Bad Empanada by lying about him, trying to, you know, call him a wolf when he's not a wolf, or you just think it's all a big joke. And either way is unacceptable. So yeah, I'm like, I didn't think that my opinion of Keffals could get lower. Apparently it can.
She has initiated contact with me, and I'll show you that. Hold on one second.
Luna
We're gonna
Oi
get to the really funny part.
being a landowner. Luna Oi is a
Luna is not a landowner. She lied about that.
Vietnamese YouTuber who's gone into a lot of back and forth with other YouTubers. I really wasn't thinking much about that video, as I don't actually have really strong feelings about Luna Oi one way or another.
Yeah, you made a video entirely about her, shitting on her, okay?
But that's kind of the background. So months later, I decided to ask Bad Empanada to come on my stream.
Exactly. You asked me. How am I not leaving you alone? You asked me to come on your stream.
And when it came time to come on the stream, about 30 minutes before, I told
18 minutes before. We can see 8:42. You told me to come on at 9.
I mean, I'm not gonna give her grief over like being wrong by 14 minutes.
him that I wanted to bail on the stream.
You said you're too drunk, you need to bail. Okay, you can still talk to someone if you're drunk.
You know, I'd been drinking, I felt uncomfortable.
That's a lie, that's a lie. Let me show you, that's a lie. She told me that she wasn't drunk or anything. She told me specifically in Discord DMs that she wasn't drunk. I wasn't even drunk, I was just trying to opt out of the conversation because it was making me upset. It's right fucking there. It's right
And the truth of the matter is, like, if I were to, you know, if I were to, like, guess what Keffals' real, like, where Keffals is really at here, right? I would say that, you know, so in other words, if I were to dream fast with Keffals right now, Dark Crystal style, right? Keffals would show me that this is, Bad Empanada, and he's not serious. He's a garbage person, and he is a lol cow, and that's all. And that's right. Like, I'm thinking that that's what Keffals. Sorry to bring like dark. I just saw that on Netflix, so I had to bring that into it. But like, yeah, if Keffals was to be completely honest with me, I think that's what she'd say. And I think that's what Shark would say, right? If I was like, Shark, why were you lying about Bad Empanada? Shark would say, it's Bad Empanada. It doesn't matter, right? Essentially, like, he's not a person. And I mean, he is a troubled person, okay? I get that. I've dealt with him. He is weird to deal with, right? Yeah, it's hard to tell how he'll react to anything. He's inappropriate a lot. He's grumpy. He's just kind of what would you call it? Like a misanthrope, right? So yeah, he's a misanthrope, true, but he's still a person. And when you use this like victimization narrative on somebody like that, like, it hurts. It hurts. And it hurts because like, you're literally fulfilling the narrative that people try to use to deny victims even compassion for being victimized, right? And some of your audience, some of your audience only saw that first video and it was like, oh my gosh, is Bad Empanada stalking Keffals now? That's really scary. What? Oh my God, that's really scary, right? There was people like that you left with that impression. It's impossible that there's not. He's an absolute shit poster for sure, yeah. But just like, I don't think he'd do something like this. I don't know. He like, look, a lot of the stuff that he does, like, I would not be comfortable doing with myself, right? A lot of the stuff that he does, I don't defend at all, right? But I'm a little bit shocked that Keffals would make a video like, which does not feel like a shitpost in any way. Feels like you're scared and you don't know what to do, right? Which is a position that you've been in not too long ago. Yeah? This is just like, I can't believe that she did this. Anyone just looking at thumbnails and titles, yeah, it's kind of not even just thumbnails and titles. Anybody who watched just the first video. The first video was serious. There was no wink and nod. There was no goofy stuff. There was no mention of Logan Paul or anything to, connote that there might be, like, there was no, like, I've got a plane ticket, I'm flying down to Argentina right now, right? The first video was serious, looked serious, felt serious. And if it wasn't meant serious, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
Fucking there, like, these logs are entirely public. I published them in my last video on the topic, and she has the audacity to just lie about this. What the hell else is there to say about this? She's like lying to try
and just understand it. Bad Empanada has been horrible to me. Like, right, I don't know what his deal is. I think I disagreed with him once, and he decided he hated my guts at that point. Fine. That's his right to do whatever he wants to do, right? So I'm not protecting Bad Empanada because I like him or I think he's a good guy or anything like that. I am under no illusions about who Bad Empanada is, right? He's Oscar the Grouch, right? But like, I don't like people lying, and I especially don't like people lying and getting away with it. And so if there's anything that I can do to help this liar not get away with her lies, I'm gonna do that, right? Just out of principle.
Off the drama narrative. Like, she straight up intentionally imploded her like amicable sort of relation with me to farm YouTube content of it. She planned this, and it's so fucking obvious because this is like a workshopped public relations sort of state.
No, I'm not entirely sure she planned this. There is some chance that she wasn't entirely sure what she wanted to do with the situation, and that she changed her mind. That's my assessment, right? Is that she changed her mind, right? That at first she wanted to talk to him. He is somebody that she knows decently well. She just wanted to have a conversation. Then when she sees the Voshites in her chat, they make it clear that you are not going to have a nice conversation with Bad Empanada. So she's like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to have a conversation. He's like, hey, we were supposed to have a conversation. She says, fine, okay, we'll have a conversation. But now she's walking a tightrope between like what she originally wanted to do and what is expected of her by the Vosh Clout network, right? And so she kind of veers towards that, but not super hard, and ends up like hanging up on the call when she doesn't know what to do. Okay, fine, right? Then the next thing she does, like Bad Empanada comes out, like he's not sure what's going on. He's clearly been deceived. You know, he says gaslit. I mean, I don't know if you want to use that term, but yeah, you know, she's kind of messing with you for sure. 100% she's messing with you, right? So he wants to show the actual debate and then show the DMs just to protect himself in case this gets characterized as something that it's not. And her response is like, I am going to play this off like he's the aggressor. Right? And do you see how this works? If you're White Nervosa, you don't just say he's the aggressor. You say, look at all the videos that I've done on him. Just like one video, right? Look at all the videos he's done on me. This guy's obsessed with me. And you ignore the fact that, you know, you brought somebody on, lied to them about what you wanted to talk about, were you know, blatantly dishonest in the conversation, and now you're lying about the fallout from it, right? That's exactly what happened. She saw the Vashites and had to change her mind. Yeah, so I think that initially she thought she was just going to use the defense of like, this guy's doing a ton of content on me and I'm scared. Like, right, she was going to play the small bean, right? And she's not. She initiated this. She turned it into drama. Every single step of the way has been like Keffals led. So for her to turn around and say like, I'm being attacked is incredibly disingenuous, right? 100% disingenuous. So I think what happened is that she changed her mind. Right? I don't know. Like, I think she would have gotten away with playing the victim. I know, knowing what I know about her community, the like sort of insular nature of her community and the Clout Network in general, I think she would have gotten away with that. I think she could have just gone with the he's attacking me, and it would have worked out fine for her. But instead, she changes tactics at the last minute and totally undermines any credibility that she might have had. Right? So anybody that's watching all of these videos, right? Anybody that just saw the, oh my God, he's attacking me video thinks, oh my God, he's attacking her, right? But anybody who saw all the videos thinks like, wow, that's some spicy, you know, shit posting, Keffals. That's really, that's a lot. That's a lot because, yeah, and maybe they're okay with it. Maybe they think that Bad Empanada is not just Oscar the Grouch. He's a walking piece of garbage, right? So he doesn't matter. So it's okay to treat him like that. It's okay because it's Bad Empanada, right? Just like she said before, it was okay to tell somebody to Minecraft themselves in Roblox because they were, you know, like, oh, I think it was Flamenco, right? But like, you know, it's the same kind of thing. But like a certain subset of people who only know you from YouTube, like, right? If you're trying to avoid people like unfollowing you, if you're trying to avoid people distrusting you, if you're trying to avoid reinforcing the image that the scumbag commentary community has made for you, and I do think that the commentary community victimized Keffals. I do think that, you know, even you could say Destiny, you know, victimized Keffals. I think a lot of Keffals' enemies were super disingenuous about her, but you are feeding into that. And I just saw what appears to be one of those people using this as another, you know, nail in your social media coffin, right? Like, this isn't smart, and this isn't good. This is, I don't know what she's thinking. I really don't. Her community was fine with going around labeling other, yeah, that's right, just last week, right? Labeling another trans woman as a TERF, they'd be happy to just go and attack BE on her say-so. True.
A statement that just lies about things that anyone can go and check the evidence for and see that they're untrue, like here.
The topic of Ireland is something that's very traumatic to me. I'm in therapy.
Again, she didn't even tell me that we were going to talk about this. She didn't say to me, I don't feel comfortable talking about this. She didn't say to me that
like when somebody says that, like, right, it might sound weird to you because you're talking about a place, right? But as somebody who's experienced trauma and like I have, you know, I have trauma that's associated with a place. It's not quite what Keffals is dealing with, but there was a certain foreign language that I had trouble continuing to speak because something bad had happened to me in a country where I was studying that language, right? But I want to trust somebody when they say something like this. I don't want to second guess it. I don't want to think, is there some game afoot here? Is this some social media garbage? Like what's like, right? When somebody says like, I have trauma associated with this place, I want to just be like, yes, okay, I will respect that. Like, this is terrible. This is terrible.
He was in therapy or anything like this. What she said to me was, I'm too drunk, I need to bail. If you're drunk, you can still chat with someone. In fact, being drunk makes chatting with someone better. Obviously, I responded to that by saying,
I mean, that is a personal preference, Bad Empanada. That's not true of everyone.
Really, I just went live. You can't leave me now, because I trusted her that the reason that she told me for why she was bailing was just that she was drunk. Generally, if you want people to understand your reasoning for something, it's good to tell them that reason, or at least insinuate that it's more serious than what you were framing it as. Because I'm too drunk, I need to bail. After you come to someone and schedule a specific time with them 18 minutes beforehand, and they go live, they're all ready, they tell their fans and shit, hey, I'm live. Now, I would gladly just cancel my stream if she had told me, I'm not comfortable talking about this right now, instead of I'm too drunk. But to me, I'm too drunk seemed like a fucking bullshit, like a cop-out, because
it's not just a place, it's also a time.
If you're too drunk, you can still talk to someone you've talked to amicably many times before and have a good time doing so. That's not what happened, though. She's trying to, frame it as her being the victim of some sort of massive peer pressure, when that's not what happened at all. I sent her 4 or 5 messages on this. Jesus.
Comfortable. And the topic of Ireland is something that's very traumatic to me.
Yeah. Like I was about to say, Bad Empanada is not guiltless in this, right? It was kind of a soft no to say that she wasn't feeling good about the conversation. I don't like that he pushed her into it.
I'm in therapy over all of the traumatic events that had occurred over the last several months of my life. So his response to that was to say, come on, and try and pressure me into it.
She's trying to frame this like fucking rape or something, to say, come on and try and pressure you into it. Yeah, because you had organized a talk with another streamer at a specific time, and you bailed 18 minutes before, after they'd already gone live in anticipation. And you didn't even give me a good reason for it. What do you expect? You expect me to be like, oh, okay, you're drunk. I guess we can't talk. I guess I'll just turn off my stream. No big deal. It's incredible that she's going for the victim angle here when we can all see what she did and what she said to me in the chat. I released the logs in full. She's straight up lying.
People from his chat came into my chat.
People from his chat came into my chat. Who cares? She has one example of someone saying something in her chat, and I told her that I'll ban them. It's in the Discord logs. The goal here, it's in the Discord logs here. I said to her, if you tell me who they are, I'll ban them. And I also said I would like to permanently ban them all. She's trying to frame this as her being a victim of the vile Bad Empanada harassment campaign, when what happened is she came to me to talk to me. We scheduled a time. When the time was literally 18 minutes off, she cancelled, claiming to be drunk. I didn't think that being drunk was a good enough reason not to have a generic, amicable conversation with someone you've talked to before. So I said, really? Really? I went live. Can we talk or what? She didn't clarify that her reasoning for not wanting to talk was because she wasn't comfortable. At this point, I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, but we kind of know who Bad Empanada is, right? There's, faults with him. I've experienced those personally, right? So I'm definitely not, defending what he's doing here. I just don't like the combination of what sounds like a serious video, right? And what I would take as normally take as a serious video with first of all, all the contradictions, all the things that she says in that video that contradict other things that she said, and secondly, a final video that is you're gonna see too. This is the weird thing. All right, let's just get more into this. I'm sorry, I'm reacting too much and watching too little.
That's even true, because we've all seen her.
Also, juice that thread.
Give me a fucking break. So this is just a complete
juice that Twitter
joke. She's
thread.
clearly just lying.
Tried to pressure me into it, and then he himself came into my Twitch chat to pressure me into it.
She's literally trying to frame it as if she was the victim of rape or something, because I didn't want to cancel a scheduled chat that I had already gone live for a fucking dumb reason, I'm a little drunk, which she then later admitted.
And to be clear, I would have a problem with him insisting on this, right? I don't have a problem with him being frustrated that something that was scheduled isn't gonna go on, but no canceling. Yeah, I mean, he's an asshole. I mean, there's no denying that. He is an asshole.
by the way, was a lie. But she's going to use that excuse here anyway. And I'll show you the chat logs when she does, because she said to me straight up she wasn't actually drunk and it was a lie.
So I finally agreed and the conversation happened. But I didn't want to talk about that. And honestly, I held my tongue on something that
this one is incredibly funny because we have chat logs directly from her after she tried to talk to me afterwards, debunking this.
Had upset me for years. You know, I have to admit, like, over the years,
this has upset you for
I've had my tongue held on a lot of people.
This has upset you for years, and you've held your tongue on it.
So what she's talking about upsetting her for years is the person that Bad Empanada told to Roblox themselves, who at first she said was her friend, and then she said it wasn't her friend, and then she said, it turns out it's not even the person that I thought it was. But I've held my tongue about this for years, and I've been really upset about this, right? There's just like...
Okay, Keffals, chat log. Also, apparently, you didn't even send those DMs to my friend. Apparently, you sent it to some random leftcom who is now suspended from Twitter. I have zero idea what this is even about, LMAO, while I keep saying friend. And that last line she said, because even the original person that she claimed this was about, she says that they're not actually even her friend. You've been holding your tongue on this for years. When you say here you have zero idea what this is even about.
But if somebody, like, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so there's... I don't want to make any statements super definitively against Keffals at this point, because I don't know if she's okay. Right? There's inconsistencies here that seem to belie that she's a very dishonest person. But inconsistencies will also show up when you're a very traumatized person, when you're a very confused person, when you're a person dealing with, you know, just kind of some kind of acute crisis, right? I guess I don't want to make too many assumptions. You're going to see some really strange stuff here, though. I'm not going to lie, right? It gets weird. It gets super, super, super weird.
Holy shit. Keffals is on a ruin my reputation fucking speed run here. This is like a corporation's law department putting out a press release or something. That's how fucking bad it is. Wow.
I've been friendly with because I don't like rocking the boat. And as I've said in the past, this is a different year and I'm not going to be afraid. I don't want...
Holy shit, she's trying to frame her as being like a fucking massive victim or something. It's insane. Like you're just it's like I'm just an uwu little small bean, and this guy is.
What did she want to accomplish by talking to BE in the first place, right? I'm left at a loss here, right? Because at first it seemed like she wants to work a situation out with her friend, but then it turns out she doesn't care that much about the situation. The situation's not what she's representing. That's with the Twitter account that he said something to, right? So it's not about that. Maybe it's about working out the Ireland stuff, right? They were angry at each other earlier. They did talk, and Bad Empanada took down his video, which implies that the situation somewhat worked out, but maybe there were hurt feelings left over, right? So, you know, maybe it's that she wanted to come on and just, like, you know, reconnect with Bad Empanada, and maybe the Vosh, it was clear that the Vosh people aren't going to let her do that. I really don't know. I'm at a loss. I am at a loss for where she's coming from, where she's at. I'm a little bit worried for her, but I'm also concerned with the way that she's crying wolf. It's really concerning, right? I think they both set a trap for each other. Could be. I hadn't thought of that before. I don't think she realized that people hated BE so much when she invited him. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I want to hold a place, you know, for the fact that some of this weirdness might be, like, legitimately a reaction to trauma. She's obviously experienced a lot of trauma. But it's just, it's hard to take seriously. Somebody, you know, saying this dangerous person is coming after me and then laughing about it.
Being mean to me because I invited him onto my stream specifically because I wanted to talk to him about something that he thought was important to me and that he wanted to help me overcome, and who I have been up until this point incredibly, you know, amicable with, no issues whatsoever. And then I confronted him with some idiotic bullshit that she herself admits she didn't actually care about, as I just showed. And now she's like, I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to back down. I'm going to be assertive. I'm going to confront the bad people. Holy shit, you are the bad people, Keffals.
To get into these fights, but the situation with him was really unfortunate. And you'll see it.
I mean, he's right about that. She's part of the Vosh Clout network. She is, yeah, one of the, you know, right. He's right about that part. Regardless, she's proved herself to be incredibly opportunistic. True. I think she thinks she needs to defend herself, but really she needs to do the opposite. Yeah, or she just needs to level with people, I feel like, at this point.
When I upload the video tomorrow about the incident that occurred. Bad Empanada decided to tell this 20-year-old Asian American second-generation immigrant.
Holy shit! Asian American second-generation immigrant. She's just like looking for random identity categories from this random anonymous Twitter account.
All he does is post his political takes on Twitter. That's his entire.
Okay, so let's take a look at what Keffals said. She admits that she sends people death threats. Okay, Keffals' own words, her own voice here. Let's listen.
You're right. Okay, I'll concede. I do remember. I did say this to one person, and it was flamenco, and I stand by that.
Oh, so she told someone to kill themselves. She told, I don't know, a second-generation Latino immigrant who just posts his political takes. Damn, Keffals. I can't believe that you wish death upon that guy. I can't believe that you told him to kill himself. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny how she pretends to care about this. This is Keffals' best friend, by the way. Let's go over it again. So this is one of Keffals' best internet friends, one of her favorite creators who she sucks up to, you know, has little
No. God damn. Okay. Okay. So, once bitten, twice shy. We're not gonna watch this again. This is the Vosh video that he put on earlier, and it says something that I don't think is TOS, considering that he didn't direct it to anybody specifically, but I don't want to mess with it, so we're just gonna skip over it. I'm sure my sponsor will appreciate me, like, avoiding this bit.
Some random leftcom who is now suspended from Twitter. Zero idea what this is even about. Damn, she really cares about this.
Who is Flamenco? Flamenco is a farmer. Flamenco is a former co-host of the Killstream, which is a far right. And yeah, read everything you want to into far right, because that's what I mean. It's a far right blood sport debate show, and Flamenco is a bad dude. Basically, Flamenco's a really, really bad dude. Right.
She really had this pent up for 2 years. By the way, you want to see how pent up she had it?
I do have to pee, but I'm gonna.
She's had this pent up. Do you want to find out more about that? Let me show you. So here we have.
I'm gonna listen along
in my Twitch chat. Previously subbed for 6 months. So I only started streaming in mid 2021. So her claim that this has been eating at her for 2 years, apart from the fact that she admitted to me right here that she didn't even know what this is about. So she just like found some random shit to yell at me about because she wanted to start drama. She was subbed to my channel for 6 months. She's still following me. She's been following me since May 2nd. She came to my chat numerous times. She says, "Screw you, I am the #1 Bad Empanada fan. If you don't sim for Bad Empanada, what the hell are you doing with your life?"
I'm gonna pee, but I'm gonna listen while I am.
You're just lying. She's just fucking lying so blatantly.
I'm good.
And I find it hilarious, honestly, because this shit isn't gonna affect me at all. It doesn't matter. It's just a fucking joke. And the way that she tried to frame her video, like, Bad Empanada won't leave me alone. It's creepy. Every single interaction that I've had with her, she initiated, by the way. Just to show you that, again, here's the Discord. First interaction. She came to me and she said, "Hi, Bad Empanada. I was wondering if you'd come on my stream to talk because we left things off kind of rocky." And then after that, she came to me. She added me as a friend on Discord. And I actually removed her as a friend. And then she sent me another friend request. That's why she says here, "Hi again, thank you for accepting." So she's the one who's been seeking me out from the very beginning. Bad Empanada won't leave me alone. It's very creepy. Do you want to see her comments on my channel? Do you want to see her, honestly, like bordering on sexual harassment? She leaves a comment on my channel, as you can see here. "This video is theater. Bad Empanada privately apologized to me and we already make up. He's just keeping this going for camp and AdSense, but I love him and understand." How does this square with the like PR firm workshop narrative that she's trying to like put on in this video, right? And then she says, "I love you. Stop making a scene in public and call me. I'm worried." And I responded, "FYI, I have no connection to Keffals whatsoever. She's just pathetically trying to play off her being a POS for no reason as a joke." And then on the other video, she says, "Bad Empanada and I have made up. We realize this is all a funny misunderstanding and I already booked my ticket to Argentina so I can rub sunscreen on my precious Empanada's back while we sunbathe on the beautiful Argentinian beaches." Yeah, just like, imagine like a guy saying this about a woman. Very much not okay. But unfortunately, because she's saying it to me, you know, I'm not like allowed to get angry about it. I'm not allowed to frame it as the sexual harassment that it factually is. Then she says, "It's okay, I love you. You don't need to keep this act up. I know this isn't how we really are. You also don't have me blocked. You have my personal cell number." Yeah, this is the behavior of someone who is like not being left alone. You go to that channel and sexually harass them. You go to that channel and like lie about your relationship with them, which has never been a relationship. We've been just like acquaintances. We've talked like once every 6 months, maybe once every 2 months maximum over the course of like 2 years. She's just blatantly lying.
He slid into his DMs, a kid with a history of mental health issues, and said, he said
A kid with a history of mental health issues. A second-generation Asian American who just posts his political takes on Twitter. We've already been over how, like, completely dishonest this is. She sends people death threats online. She sends second-generation Latino immigrants with mental health issues DMs telling them to kill themselves.
Okay, so here's where it gets messy. Nobody looks good here. First of all, I want to ask chat, how do you feel about the things that Keffals said to Bad Empanada? Like, right? I want to point out though that like one of the things we don't like about Vosh is that he echoes this like kind of like sort of male aggrievement, right? Like that the you know that men are like an unrecognized, marginalized group, essentially, is the energy that you get from Vosh these days. It's very much conducive to that whole red pill sphere that he's trying to embrace, that he's trying to bring into his community, right? He's seen what it's done for Destiny, and he wants that for himself, right? So, you know, that's you know, an issue with Vosh. Now, the way that Bad Empanada phrased that was as if, like, men aren't acknowledged as victims. They are. Men are acknowledged as victims, right? They're, you know, and if you're, I don't know, you're not going to get like a lot of, like if people, you know, don't see that, or they have, you know, again, like patriarchal sort of ideas about, you know, who can and can be victims of sexual harassment. That's a problem, but that's the patriarchy doing that, right? That is not, you know, right? So, you know, like there was a little bit of like what we don't like about Vosh in what Bad Empanada said, but what do you think about what she said, right? Obviously, to my eye, she was joking about it, but, and I sometimes do similar jokes. I'm not sure. This does feel like, yeah, especially Black trans men aren't acknowledged as victims, but it's not like a oversight of feminism, right? Not seeing men as victims is part of the essentialization of men that comes with the patriarchy, right? Like not acknowledging, and you know what you're talking about there, V, is like, it sounds like a form of you know like transphobia mixed with racism. I was trying to come up with the word for that, but I don't know what the word, if there is a word for prejudice against Black trans men, which does exist, but I don't know what's yeah, I don't know the specific word for it. The whole suntan thing is inappropriate. He doesn't need the MRA commentary. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So neither of them look good here, right? And like, I don't know, do people feel like well, I don't know if I want to bring misandry into it, right? Because it's not misandry when the patriarchy causes people to not see men as being possible victims of you know of you know some of the same things that can I hear what she said again? Absolutely. Good call. Let's roll it back slightly. I think it was just it was BE pointing out the fact that he did the troll. If he did the troll, oh yeah, then people would bring down the judgment harder on him. Not to mention, it was pretty creepy. Yeah, I mean, I just like you feel like you needed to, you know, buttress that with the idea that, like, you know, patriarchy promotes the idea that men can't be victims, and I don't know, but that's just not Bad Empanada, right? He distrusts that kind of
A kid with a history of mental health issues. A second-generation Asian American who just posts his political takes on Twitter. We've already been over how, like, completely dishonest this is. She sends people.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. So do you understand, like, the title for the video? Like, I'm so confused by this, right? Like, it's not clear cut. There's obviously some stuff that Bad Empanada that did that wasn't great, but there, you know, is some real problematic stuff to what Keffals did as well. I think the thing is, women can do things that men can't because they don't have the same power.
death threats online. She sent second-generation Latino immigrants with mental health issues DMs telling him to kill themselves. Her friend tells hundreds of trans people who don't like him to kill themselves.
She comes off worse. I hate that. Yeah, this is bad.
This is fucking, I don't know. There's something going on here with her. There's something incredibly weird going on here with her. This is like bizarre.
Kill yourself. Literally, he was inviting him to commit suicide.
That's what you did. That's what you did. You admitted it.
Remember, I did say this to one person, and it was flamenco. And
ooh, literally inviting someone to. This is so easy to dissect. Like, this is fucking great. Honestly, this is really funny. It's not fucked up. You admitted you don't care about it. You said right. You admitted right here. And we have the chat logs. We have the
going into how the suntan thing, following a post where he clarified that they didn't know each other.
Chat logs. Who are you kidding?
Like, women who sexually harass men do use Darvo as a defense. That doesn't mean we should distrust survivors.
He's just like hoping that the people who watch your videos don't actually go and check the evidence. Oh man, it's like What If Old Hiss, but like a drama YouTuber. Fantastic.
I don't think that's acceptable. And in defense of this, yes, he decides that that person who is formerly my friend, we talk every now and then, but
that's not true. She said they're not her friend. She's just straight up lying. Oh my god, this is so fucking funny. Also, you didn't even send those DMs to my friend. Apparently, you sent it to some left comm who's now suspended from Twitter. I have zero idea what this is even about. LMAO. It was your friend. It was your friend. It was her friend. She's right here saying it wasn't her friend. This is fucking hilarious. How, like, holy shit, the goal to just do this when we can see the evidence right here and see that it's total bullshit. Like, this was public before she even made this video. She knew this was out there. This is fucking hilarious.
Regardless, his defense was, well, they're a Nazi. They're not a Nazi. They're not a fascist.
Yes, they are.
I can see why you would make that kind of defense. If you go onto Bad Empanada's channel, one of his most popular videos is him defending Stalin's mass murder and ethnic cleansing and genocide. I guess it's like...
no, this is actually a joke. Okay, this is actually a joke. She doesn't believe that. This is 100% a joke. I get it now. I get it now.
That's funny because, like, it didn't come out to me like a shit post. It came off like he knows her, right? And like he showed that picture of her with the busts of Stalin, Mao, and sorry, not Mao, Marx, Stalin, and Mao. She had busts of Marx, Stalin, and Mao on her, serious looking like political candidate like backdrop, right? When she was running under the CPUSA. It didn't sound like a joke at all. But I think that he's saying that based on his knowledge of her, who she is, that it has to be a joke.
Okay, this is a joke. I know that she agrees with that video. I 100% know that. I know what her political positions are. Before
he literally blamed Stalin for the famine in that video.
When she started sucking up to like Vosh and like the liberals and shit. Like, I know this. Like, this is great.
If you label someone,
yeah, it's the Holodomor video, right?
I appreciate this now.
One that you don't like as a fascist, you can immediately dehumanize them and justify anything against them.
Yeah, like you here to the poor second generation Latino who you told to kill himself. That's awful. Why did you do that? This poor second generation Latino.
Remember, I did say this to one person, and it was flamenco, and I
just for posting his political beliefs online. Oh no.
It's funny because that's what fascists do. That dehumanization tactic is literally what fascists do.
Fascists aren't human. If you said the fascists aren't human, that's dehumanization, and you're literally a fascist. This is so fucking great. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Wow, this is fucking great.
So
I don't know what she's playing at here because the evidence is so obvious. Like, the logs have been released. It's fucking,
also, does it look like Bad Empanada's sweating? Have Keffals and Flamenco met in real life? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. This is the weird part. She's mixing the shitpost with the serious accusations. Yeah.
Cut and dry. Like, if Destiny, who I know hates her for for whatever reason, because just a piece of shit. But the thing with Destiny is he's a piece of...
Oh no, here it gets even weirder. Shit,
but he's a piece of shit who, like...
Right, Buffy Geek?
Looks at both sides. He usually comes to the wrong assessment of both sides. But in a case like this, like, he would look at the logs and shit, and he would call her out on this shit, like, immediately, because it's just so fucking obvious. Destiny's, like, apart from being a piece of shit, he's the only person who tends to, like, check both sides. He usually still somehow comes to the wrong conclusion, but I at least slightly respect him for that, and hate him for everything else. So, like...
What? Destiny usually looks at both sides of an issue and comes out on the right side. I hate him for other things, ostensibly, his overall political takes, his overall, essentially neoliberal stance on things, but he's a fair person. Now, there's a video on my channel that is Destiny debating Bad Empanada. And it starts off as a debate, but it turns into a listening session because Destiny legitimately does not know about the subject matter that Bad Empanada is talking about it. And unlike when he didn't understand, what I was talking about, and he just went and played the piano and ignored me, he actually sat there and seemingly listened to Bad Empanada, right? So, I mean, I kind of get where he sees this, but, I mean, this is just Bad Empanada, like, putting Destiny on another tier. You get the feeling, right, here, that Bad Empanada is saying, like, Destiny is bad, but he's not as bad as Vosh. I kind of feel the opposite is true, right? Destiny's really bad. Unambiguously bad, right? What is the word? Unironically evil. There we go. He's unironically evil. Or what is the other oh my god, I'm trying to remember. What is the word that they always use? Not empirically, but oh, I can't remember. Are you mad? 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 Wait, was that from... That was the... Oh, Destiny and Demon Mama. Yeah, ontologically. Yeah, ontologically. Yeah, exactly. Pull the video back 20 seconds. Yeah, this is weird. Like, I don't want to dwell on this too much, because this is absolute trash content. And like I said, there's not really a political stake here. That's why I'm not covering politics. This isn't politics. This is just weird. I don't know what this is. Destiny is unequivocally worse than Vosh. I think so too. Destiny is transparently bad. Well, okay. The one, if I had to say one thing that I appreciate about Destiny, it's that he's not trying to represent himself in any way as a leftist, right? That's I do appreciate that. Vosh ends up doing more damage by calling himself a leftist and having, having very reactionary views. They both suck. Yeah, I know. It's like, would you rather be chased by an elephant or a lion? Can I choose neither? Legitimately?
Like, if Destiny, who I know...
I think it's ontologically that they say, you are wrong about what... Wait, I'm wrong? Okay, let me rewind it. You said about, like, 20 seconds? What was I wrong about?
Been released, like, it's fucking so cut and dry. Like, if Destiny, who I know hates her for some, for whatever reason, because just a piece of shit, but the thing with Destiny...
I mean, to be fair, it's pretty clear why Destiny hates her.
Piece of shit, but he's a piece of shit who, like, usually...
Elephants can't jump, though.
Looks at both sides. He usually comes to the wrong assessment of both sides. But in a case like this, like, he would look at the logs and shit, and he would call her out on this shit, like, immediately, because it's just so fucking obvious. Destiny's, like, apart from being a piece of shit, he's the only person who tends to, like, check both sides. He usually still somehow comes to the wrong conclusion, but I at least slightly respect him for that, and hate him for everything else.
So he usually comes to the wrong conclusion, but wait. He checks out both sides. Ian goes after after POC women a lot.
Slightly respect him for that and hate him for everything else. So, like, why would you do this? You're just opening yourself up to get totally fucked by anyone who actually looks at what happened, who looks at the evidence, who looks at you admitting that this person was...
Also, like, the fact that he brings up Destiny here really bothers me. Now, this isn't exactly a snitch tag, and far be it from me to, like, act like Keffals and her fandom don't do snitch tags themselves. They absolutely do. That's one of their main tactics, right? It's the snitch tag, but I get the feeling almost like that Bad Empanada wants Destiny to look at this. Because, I mean, there's no doubt, like, that Destiny would look at this and say, yeah, here's another example of Keffals being a lying sleazeball, and, here, ironically, this communist, who we hate communists here at DGG, but this communist is in the right here. Like, I do think that he's right that Destiny would side with him, but, like, it's not something you should want. Considering how much, like, harassment Keffals has gotten from Destiny's community, it's definitely not something you should want. He's fair to both sides, aka my side. Hello, Destiny. Please cover the drama. Yeah, probably right about that. Dude, what was I wrong about? He said he comes to the right conclusion. Oh, BE said the wrong conclusion? I see.
Wasn't even your friend who looks at you straight up falling for someone to kill themselves just as you're pretending that you care about here. Are you fucking kidding?
It turned into this thing where we went back and forth, and he tried to turn it into a debate about the ethics of when it is and is not okay to tell someone.
Vosh, BE, Destiny, and Keffals are your new nightmare blunt rotation. Oh my god, that is scary.
To take their own life.
You did that?
That is legitimately scary.
Here, you said here, you admitted you told
Remember,
someone to
I
take their
did
own
say
life.
this to one person, and it was flamenco.
Ninth circle of hell blunt rotation, yeah.
And I stand by that.
And you stand by it.
I decided to leave the conversation.
That's not true. You admitted that you had done it yourself, and you left the conversation because you were getting fucking destroyed.
Abruptly, because I couldn't take it.
You couldn't take it. Oh, you were in such distress. You were in such massive distress. Look how much distress she was in.
Remember, I did say this to one person, and it was flamenco, and I stand by that.
Oh, no, I was in such distress. I was in such terrible distress.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Keffals planned this drama at this point.
Fucking stupid conversation, and it was very upsetting.
A really stupid conversation that you started.
Response to this has been like 2 call-out videos on YouTube, and he's trying to say that I gaslit him and that I manipulated him, and that I did the exact
same. Well, you didn't manipulate me because now manipulate.
Oh, that's a good call, V. If I was in that blunt rotation, I'd rotate myself and the blunt out ASAP.
It would imply that you were successful. I spotted your bullshit immediately and called you out on it straight away. And my response was, 1, to post the chat that you invited me to on my channel to preempt you from doing it yourself, because I know that you would try to deceptively.
I think BE knows that Vosh knows Vosh, and the would not. Yeah, Vosh and his clout network would not look critically at this, and Destiny would, but it would be motivated, right? And it would come with a lot of harassment towards Keffals. Destiny's actually come out and out with his transphobia. If you haven't been paying attention, I haven't been paying much attention, but the last tweet, was it a tweet? I think it was a tweet. Yeah, because right, Destiny back on Twitter, I think, and basically he was calling out somebody for identifying as trans mask, and in his mind, not presenting as trans mask, right? Yeah, Destiny's gotten a lot worse on trans issues. The only real fair analysis is no comment chick. That's true.
The editor to remove the part where you literally admitted to
I think so, Spark.
telling someone to kill themselves.
He's
which just
back.
plain
Yeah.
rubbish as your narrative. And 2, you added me as a friend afterwards, and you said things to me that revealed you to be bullshitting in these very logs that I just went over, like that, for example. So yeah, I made another video to defend myself from you just straight up lying, because you approached me on Discord. You added me as a friend on Discord. You initiated a conversation with me on Discord, a conversation which made it clear that you were just straight up
Yeah, F the gender police.
bullshitting, especially about your main narrative in this video, which is that your poor friend was told to commit suicide. And then you say here, 0 idea what that is even about. Yep, fantastic. I've just been responding to her this entire time. It's hilarious that she's trying to frame this as anything else.
Circumstance, anything that he did, even though the situation with me was saying that, I told an actual neo-Nazi who had been stalking me.
Oh, so she just said 2 seconds ago, like you're not allowed to talk about when it's okay to tell someone to do this, right? You're not allowed to talk about the circumstances, someone who supports US imperialism and US genocide the world over, right? You're not allowed to say that to someone in that situation. Her threshold is where it's okay. Her threshold, that's where it's okay. She straight up...
Villain CIA Burns says Keffals is grifting hard.
Said, framing someone as a Nazi to make it permissible to do things to them that usually wouldn't be permissible is wrong, literally a minute ago. And now she's trying to say that because she did it to someone who she calls a Nazi, that makes it okay. Do you guys see just...
I wonder if Babel can teach us a different way to say ACAB.
The massive cognitive dissonance at play here. This is hilarious. This is amazing.
Take their own life.
First she says it's wrong to even debate when it's okay to say terrible things to people, even because there's no threshold where it's okay. Then she goes on to say, oh, when I did it was okay because they crossed the threshold. Amazing.
Through a third party, I said, hey, can you tell them this? And they did.
That's even worse. That's so weird. Through a third party, that's supposed to be...
You need to brush up on your French. I'm going to be doing that a little later today.
Mitigating circumstance. That's really high effort shit.
Be doing exactly that.
I think that's a completely different situation. It's
2 seconds ago, you just made it out like there was no situation where
as a trans person, as someone who a lot of people do legitimately want dead.
So that makes it okay for you to tell people to kill themselves? If someone wants the US empire to genocide the world over, is that not enough of a threshold to tell them awful things? When is the threshold? Is it when they have wronged you personally only?
I would hope
a lot of people empathy to also...
Bad Empanada taking no prisoners, yeah.
Be just as enraged about people
there's a lot of BS to call out here.
Awful things to others as you are to people doing awful things to you.
A lot of insane, obsessed, unhinged people who wish harm on me all the time. And being able to stand up and say that to the people who want to hurt me is a very brave thing to do.
She's trying to frame it as like an act of empowerment. So it's bad when I do it, but it's okay when she does it because it's an act of empowerment. It's an act of empowerment, an empowering incitement to suicide. What the fuck? This is fucking hilarious. She's just expertly trying to play the victim. This is amazing. She's just straight up saying things she doesn't believe at all to try and like
I would say that of all the videos, including the shit posty video, this is the one that's gonna haunt her. This is the one that is going to really follow her, and it's gonna feed into, like, I've already seen somebody that looks like they're from the commentary community using this whole controversy to hate on Keffals. I feel like this video is gonna make that extremely easy, and that sucks, right? Because I don't want to see any. What's up? That coffee looks terrible. Well, I'm not sponsored by coffee, Bad Empanada 2, who I think is real. Can we get a check on that, right? We're just trying to make sure you're the real Bad Empanada 2 and not somebody pretending to be Bad Empanada 2 that's going to say something that Bad Empanada 2 wouldn't actually say. But welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is a mess. Like, I usually cover drama that's got some sort of redeeming value behind it, right? I don't see anything here. Like, what was this supposed to be about in the first place? Like, you know, the limits of free speech, you know, what kind of like language advocating self-harm is, where the line is as far as that. The propaganda, like, right, there are issues here, but every single one of these issues gets undermined and de-emphasized by this weird pivoting that Keffals keeps on doing. Like, right, this video makes you think that there's a bad person coming after her, like the bad people that came after her in March, right? She's just like reflexively defending herself this way now, right? And you've seen this happen on Twitter. You've seen her accuse people that she was in beefs on Twitter with of basically being farmers. Wait, did you actually see my coffee? Yeah, I guess so. Wait, are you talking about my coffee or are you talking about my mug? My mug needs to be cleaned. I think the coffee's okay, isn't it? Is the coffee that bad? It was supposed to be about me helping Keffals go public with her reasoning for supporting the cops in Northern Ireland. Okay, so there's more to that, and she talked to you behind the scenes about it. She immediately turned it into a confrontation. People are saying that some people think that she legitimately wanted to engage with you, but didn't realize how much her new following, which a lot of it's from Vosh, just views you as a wrestling heel, right? And you can't have a serious conversation with a wrestling heel, right? That's just not going to happen. So that she realized that the conversation that she wanted to have originally is not something that could happen, hence her saying, I am too drunk. She later says that she wasn't drunk at all, and like, this whole thing is confusing. I must be up to 500 milligrams of caffeine by now. Oh my gosh, chat is commenting on my ridiculous coffee habit. They're multiplying. Yeah, you never know, especially on Twitter, right? If the Bad Empanada you're talking to is the real one or not. But officially, I don't think there are any Bad Empanadas on Twitter because Bad Empanada is banned. So all those Twitter profiles are actually fake empanadas, right? They're not legit. They're like soy empanadas. They're plant-based empanadas, yeah? As BE said, she once used to hold the same politics as BE. Yeah, and we saw that. Like, we saw that in the community post, right? Like the old, like, I've been telling people this, like, right? I knew Keffals as Clara Aloe Vera way back. And we didn't, like, I'm not going to say that we were good friends or anything. We didn't really know each other that well. But we, you know, she hung out. She watched my stream. I think I watched her stream once or twice, right? We were going to do a silly debate about cat boys versus cat girls. We never got around to it because we were literally awake at different times of the day. So, yeah, that coffee addiction is based, right? Too bad I'm not selling coffee anymore, right? The thing is, the coffee that's available to sponsor you is like a subscription to coffee, right? And I feel like nobody really wanted a subscription. Plant-based empanada sounds pretty good. I talked to her about it in DMs Twitter, so I can't get a hold of them anymore. Oh, yeah, that's true. But she told me that there was a reason she did PR for the Northern Irish cops was because she felt like she needed to, in exchange for protection. Okay, that happened months ago. She invited me on stream. So that's a little bit more understandable. That's a little bit more understandable. Right, just randomly showing up at a cop's booth in Pride, that's bad. That's like, you know, there's no excuse for that. But if you've got weirdos on the internet, and yes, she had weirdos on the internet hunting her, okay? She had, like, you saw that picture earlier, right? That was like a handwritten note that somebody was holding in front of the place that she was staying. They had tracked her down, you know, after having gotten her swatted, after having doxed a hotel room, right? They tracked her down in Ireland too. So yeah, I mean, yeah, she wasn't a bad situation. Her reaction to someone coming on to her stream explicitly to help her was to attack me instantly. Literally out of nowhere, she decided to attack me with some fake Twitter DMs that she later admitted in Discord were fake, and well, fake Twitter DMs. Which were these the ones that Shark was throwing around, or different ones? Yeah, so like we've got several pivots, and I'm just trying to make sense of them. So initially, the conversation is what Bad Empanada is talking about in chat right now. Yeah, it's the Northern Ireland cop situation, which, you know, given what BE just disclosed, is a little bit more understandable. There's some real like background there that does change, you know, how we're gonna look at that. And then that was a no-go because if you treat Bad Empanada as a human being, which I don't know if he's acknowledged this, but I've heard that Bad Empanada is a human being, right? Somewhere down there, there's a human being, right? But if you treat him like that, you know, that's bad. That you're in trouble, right? On the Clout Network, he's a piece of shit. You're allowed to lie about him. You're supposed to lie about him. You can't say anything good about him. You can't have a serious conversation with him. All you can do is just, like, you know, shit on him for clout, right? That's the rule. So she pivots to that. Maybe her heart's not entirely in it, and she ends the call abruptly, kind of aborts the call, and then the next thing to come out is that, like, this video where she looked like it felt like an early Keffals video, like where she's talking about her harassment by the farms, right? But here she's talking about Bad Empanada, and she's talking about this person, this streamer, this YouTuber will not leave me alone, right? When the opposite is the truth, right? Bad Empanada wasn't the one who initiated the initial confrontation, and he wasn't the one that was really keeping this going, right? So she does like a cry for help kind of video, which we want to take seriously, you know, and there are situations where that happens, and you want to be responsive to that, but right, that's not what's going on here. And then she pivots from that to just kidding, we worked it out behind the scenes, and I'm actually going, like, she turns it into a shit post, right? So the last video that she did before she put out the debate is just like a shit post, right? And that's what's so, like, discordant. That's what I can't resolve, right? Is that, like, I don't want to think that this was crying wolf, right? Because she has been in some really bad trouble before, and also, like, I want to, you know, give a nod to the fact that the trauma, she did experience real trauma. And as somebody who's, you know, had some similar stuff go on, I want to be sensitive to that. I should try to get that account unbanned so I can get to the DMs. That would destroy her. Elon might actually do that. Just convince Elon that you're a right winger, BE. Convince Elon that you're a based red pill men's rights activist, and maybe you could get back on. Worked for Destiny. Yo, we got some sincere appreciation for Bad Empanada in chat. It's a trauma-based response. Wait, let me read this. Like, it's a trauma-based response, but done in response to someone stalking you is the opposite of what you do to shut down. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Look, I don't want to judge people for their response to internet harassment, right? Because sometimes you don't do, you know, the best thing. And I know that I fed into, like, you know, I didn't take my I didn't take the people that are still obsessed with me very seriously at first. I thought I could win them over, right? If you were here when that was happening, right? When there were the initial hate raids that happened to me, which we think were Samantha Banana, based on the fact that she said that she, you know, that she went into Aiko's stream one night and complained that I wasn't streaming and that she had nothing to do because she couldn't make alts and go yell at me, right? So Samantha took credit for at least some of the hate raids, but they didn't seem that serious. It seemed like, I'm mad at you because you're against Dylan Burns and I like Dylan Burns and I'm going to give you shit and make your stream hard to deal with. So I thought the best thing that I could do would be like, hey, no sweat. Hey, do you know anything about No Comment Check? You want to play some trivia? I played trivia with trolls, okay? Now that's not smart. That was a bad idea. And if I could somehow like advise my former self, you know, I would advise against doing that. Like, right? That any sort of interaction that you give them is you know, maybe going to keep them coming. And I did exactly that. And like, you know, like at first I thought it was cute that they knew stuff about my lore and my past and my history and people that I've dealt with. I don't think it's cute anymore. And like, I should probably stop talking about it actually. In those DMs, she approached me, explained to me her motivation for supporting the Hops. And in response, I privated the video. Okay, so that was the Northern Ireland video. Yeah. That was or everything I hate about British imperialism video. After that, I tracked down the guy who, oh my god, who stalked her in Northern Ireland, found his, oh my god, wow. Wow. So she literally intentionally that's, you know, you're doing a solid for her there. Yeah, nobody ever did that for me. So she literally intentionally targeted someone with false allegations who has recently tried to help her with the stalking for the sake of clout. Okay. That guy was the one who left the note for her outside of the place that she was staying. Yeah, we saw that on the, we saw the picture of that. That's scary stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is serious stuff, and you know, I don't know. I didn't realize how serious this was. I didn't realize how serious people take like online politics, right? And how persistent this kind of stuff can be. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Myself as the victim of some sort of harassment campaign when I've just been defending myself from her bullshit the entire time. This is fucking amazing. She started this. Every single like thing I've done has been a response to her. And now she's like, sure, I did this exact same thing, but it's part of my campaign to empower myself as a trans woman. And that makes it okay. Now, obviously, Keffals got a lot of harassment and shit. Does that make it okay for you to wish death upon people then? Because I get...
BE, can you send it to me on Discord, maybe?
Tons of fucking death threats. If you advocate for the
like I said before, we've had a lot of harassment, so we got links disabled.
Of the third world against the US, you also get plenty of death
so that nobody gets their IP scraped by a troll.
Okay. Does that make it okay for me to send death threats then? Because I've gotten death threats myself. You're allowed to engage.
Wonderful. Okay, well do you, boo.
In this behavior that you try to frame as abhorrent and unforgivable, and that you argue there is no line over which it's okay to do, and then you go on to say that it's okay for you to do it, and actually it's empowering. Holy shit.
Even though it's a dangerous thing to do. But I think being a guy in your mid-30s to early 40s and just saying
I can't believe that a woman in her early 60s would dare say that to me.
This to some early 20-something Twitter anarchist.
Early 20-something Twitter anarchist. It's so funny how she frames this. Like, some random anonymous account on Twitter, you're supposed to know, like, every little thing about them. Like, you see them tweet, like, I love the war in Iraq, for example, and you're not allowed to be mean to them.
I mean, considering how you've treated me, I don't think you have anything to worry about me messaging you on Discord. It sounded like you wanted to send me something, but I guess maybe not. I don't know.
Because you don't know. You need to know the facts about them behind their anonymous Twitter alias.
There is a human being underneath there somewhere.
You know that they're a second generation, 20-something suburban Asian American who has mental health issues? This is so fucking funny.
Because you don't
she's like borderline smirking during this.
Their political take, and then justifying it ad hoc because you think they might be a fascist when
they absolutely are a fascist. Anyone who supports U.S. imperialism is a fascist. Is the modern, not really the modern day Nazi. The only thing close to the Nazis in the present day are, actual Nazis. Obviously, they don't have as much institutional power, and Israel, which is only propped up because of the American imperialists in the first place. So yeah, you support U.S. imperialism, you deserve to be treated like shit. It's that simple. Of course, she's now aligned with the
So let me get this straight, Bad Empanada. You were going to come on with her and just kind of help her explain what ended up being a bad optics situation for her and for the clout network that she's attached to.
Imperialist crowd, so she's not allowed to say that anymore, though she would have said it 2 years ago when she was in my chat being like, Bad Empanada, you're the best streamer ever. Bad Empanada, I love you.
They are obviously not, is insane behavior.
It's insane behavior. Just read these chat logs, read the chat logs, and let's decide who is being insane or not.
Really fucking gross, and this entire situation is really dumb. I'm hoping that it ends up going away, but he keeps making these videos, so...
He keeps making these videos, responding to me. Oh, I hate it when I call someone out, when I initiate contact with them multiple times, when you, I'm not going to say I, because this will be clipped out of context, when you sexually harass me in my comments, because that's what it fucking was. When you just...
Okay, so there we have it. Like, I was wondering about that. So do you feel like this was sexual harassment then?
Blatantly lie, contradicting yourself with things that you literally just said to me yesterday with logs that were already public before you even made this video. Don't you just hate it when someone responds to you doing those things and calls you out for them? Ugh, I hate it when these people just won't leave me alone after I do horrible things to them. Unbelievable.
I thought I should make one. I think in the end, this bridge is burned. Like, we've been friends for years, which is the insane part.
We have not been friends for years. We've been friendly acquaintances. If I was your friend, you would...
It is obvious sexual harassment. Everyone would agree if it were a male creator trying to say it to a woman, or if it were me doing it to her.
Have invited me on a stream to yell at me about some random DM that you claim I sent to someone 2 years ago that you admit you have no connection to whatsoever. You didn't even know what it was about. That's not the behavior of someone who's ever my friend. Give me a fucking break. It's not the behavior of someone who's ever a friend with anyone that would ever do anything like that to.
Part of this all. And I even tried to apologize, but he would not accept a call.
That's not true. That's not true. Here are our logs. Let's go through them. Tell me where you see an apology. Where's the apology? And why would you try to apologize in the first place? If you were right about doing this to me, why would you try to apologize? Where's the apology? There's no apology here. Like, pause at any point, read these, tell me where the apology is. There's no apology here whatsoever. Give me a fucking break. What a piece of shit. This is like a fucking textbook class in how to be a massive cloud demon piece of shit. Like, there's no coming back from this. If anyone, like, with a big platform like Destiny or whatever covers this honestly, like, she's gonna be totally fucked. Like, why would you do this? You're just digging your hole deeper and deeper. The evidence is...
Okay, so just to play Keffals' advocate for a second, I'm pretty sure that Keffals would claim that the things that she said to Bad Empanada were shitposts, right? And so she'd say it's not sexual harassment, it's a shitpost. However, to then turn around and prop up what BE is saying a little bit, like, you can think of examples of male streamers or men joking about sexual things with women where even though they might intend it as a shitpost, it has the effect of, sexually harassing them. It's not clear to everybody either, right? Some people come away from the conversation thinking that maybe there is a relationship, and like, even though that might be like 1% of people, that really kind of obscures what's happening, which is like unwanted sexual advances or claims being made by someone on another person, right? So even though Keffals, in her mind, might have been really clear and wanted nothing more than to joke about Bad Empanada, there is a, maybe a line that gets crossed, where, it's an unwanted advance, even if it's a joke.
Act so badly against you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
He kept insisting
sexual harassment as a joke is still sexual harassment. Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
That I'm doing all of this for clout when we have very different audiences, and I'm not. Yeah,
the reason why your audience is very different to mine is because you've sucked up to liberals for so fucking long. You've been a part of the clout network, Vorsh's clout network, for so fucking long. Vorsh, the guy here, as we just went over, told hundreds of trans people in his audience to kill themselves, which you apparently don't care about. So yeah, of course we have very different audiences. I'm proud of that.
Going to gain literally anything out of this situation.
If you weren't going to get anything out of the situation, why'd you start it? It sounds like, you came at me thinking that you weren't giving the heat, and you can't fucking take it that I gave it back to you.
So I guess
the victim, like the fucking framing of herself as some sort of victim here is incredible. This is like, honestly, this is abuser behavior. I don't like doing psychoanalysis over the internet and shit, but this is the most clear-cut textbook example of actual abuser behavior that I've seen. Like, just because of the pure amount of lying, of gaslighting.
What was the Vosh thing again?
This is like, honestly, this is abuser behavior. I don't like doing psychoanalysis over the victim, like the out of that.
Going to gain literally anything out of this situation.
If you weren't going to get anything out of the situation, why'd you start it? It sounds like, you came at me thinking that you weren't giving the heat, and you can't fucking take it that I gave it back to you.
So I guess
the victim, like the fucking framing of herself as some sort of victim here is incredible. This is like, honestly, this is abuser behavior. I don't like doing psychoanalysis over the internet and shit, but this is the most clear-cut
what hasn't Vosh
actual
said?
abuser behavior that I've seen. Like, just because of the pure amount of lying, of gaslighting, of
Wait, how did I
reframing
miss the
everything,
Vosh part?
all of this shit. It's just such fucking obvious abuser bullshit. I feel sorry for anyone who knows her.
tomorrow when I upload the video, you'll see.
Wait for the video.
You'll see exactly what happened out of this situation.
If you weren't going to get anything out of the situation, why'd you start it? It sounds like, you came at me thinking that you weren't giving the heat, and you can't fucking take it that I gave it back to you. You've been a part of the clout network, Vorsh's clout network for so fucking long. Vorsh, the guy here,
That little exchange
told hundreds of trans people in his audience to kill themselves, which you apparently don't care about. So yeah, of course we have very different audiences. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's true. We saw that. We saw that on the Vosh video a few days ago. This is the Vosh quote unquote meltdown stream. I don't really like to use that terminology, but it's when Vosh just lost it on his audience after being blocked by Thought Slime in a thread. Right, and just went off on not just like the people that he disagreed with, but like on like all of trans people, basically insinuating that trans people have no business fighting our own struggle for liberation because we're too sensitive, we're mental. It was just like a ton of tropes, right? It was Vosh, it was a mask off moment for Vosh, and yeah, he did say that his critics can go play Roblox in Minecraft. How long does it need to be? Oh, the Vosh stream. Well, the other thing too, we read the supposed apology. So if you don't know, BE, Vosh wrote an apology on Twitter for this incident, and it seemed like an apology, right? It was a twit longer, and it looked like it was going to be an apology. The only apology there, the only sense of regret was that this is bad optics. I looked like an asshole. And going forward in the future, I'm going to do everything I can to not look like an asshole again, right? That was the only thing that he felt bad about.
Literally anything out of this.
He said it was all tone and optics. That was the only mistake that, average Vosh apology. So, right, he had a chance to apologize. He obviously didn't. I don't think he's really said anything in the, time in between. For all we know, and from what it seems like, these views that Vosh expressed in that situation are the same as Vosh's views now. We don't have any reason to believe that anything has changed.
Situation.
If you weren't going to get anything out of the situation, why'd you start it? It sounds like, you came at me thinking that you weren't giving the heat, and you can't fucking take it that I gave it back to you.
So I guess
the victim, like
okay.
Tomorrow when I upload the video, you'll see.
Wait for the video.
You'll see exactly
enough of that.
What happened. But
you'll see exactly what happened, right? Now, obviously she's going to clip chat logs out of content.
So we're not going to watch the whole video. We're not going to watch the whole. We've already seen the debate. She does introduce the debate. She does describe the debate. So there's 5 minutes or something. The fact that she calls me out for fake DMs. Oh wow, that she acknowledges are fake.
Because it was so
oh my god,
peaceful
thank
here,
you.
But now there are freaking communists invading
Chemical
radicals.
Ollie, thank you for the YouTube sub. What was I just reading? Wait, so she acknowledges what? Oh yeah, also thank you for the follow, Pizza Cat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody, she said, okay, so, oh, yeah. Okay, so the fake DMs she acknowledges are fake to someone she said was not even actually her friend, yet does not say anything about Vosh, who she's openly friends with, when he called for hundreds, if not thousands of people to Roblox themselves in Minecraft. Bosch would have to do a lot to convince me he's not transphobic. I don't need to look at his past to know that. If you read the DMs I showed, she said straight up, I didn't send anything to her friend. Yeah, that's right. So at first she said, why did you send this stuff to my friend? And then she said, oh, it's not really my friend. They're not really my friend. They're just somebody I know. And then it was, you didn't even send the DMs to the person I was talking about. You sent them to somebody else who I definitely don't know. But it's still bad that you sent somebody DMs, you know, like advocating self-harm.
If she uploads,
she's all over the place. And hey, here, I'll ask you something, BE. Like, is she all right? Like, are we just seeing like dishonesty and, you know, is this just her getting comfortable, you know, being a member of the Vosh Clout Network, or is there something more going on? Like, I almost don't feel like I should be covering this, right? I don't know. I know nothing about her. Her claim of being my friend is false. So, no, yeah, that's... See, I don't even feel like making a joke about this stuff, right? Are there any mods that Bad Empanada could whisper, Look, Dweeb-chan, I don't care. B's gonna do what B's gonna do.
The full like debate that she tried to goad me into, it's not gonna go well for her because obviously I uploaded it first because it makes me look good, obviously. So she's gonna have to like do some, you know, a really good editing job, like just like bring up a bunch of like other grievances that like Vorsh and other streamers have with me, etc., to try and frame herself in like a favorable light. Because there's no way she can actually stay on topic here and frame herself.
Literally, if he wants me to have a link, he can figure out a way to get that link to me. It's not hard.
In a favorable light.
I hope that like in a week from now, Bad Empanada will stop lying about me and stop trying to manipulate his viewers and stop.
Doesn't it suck when people lie about you and manipulate their viewers about you by showing things that you've actually said and did and proving that you said and did them? Oh man,
trying to gaslight me.
What a fucking hilarious, like what a ridiculous person, honestly.
So wait, do you think that she does think that you were friends? That part's not fake, right? Then exchanging 5 DMs with another creator a couple of times does not make them your friend. True, yeah.
Say, Keffals is 100% like a parody of like the liberal Cloud Shark streamer. Like this is next level. Like,
well, I don't know if she's a parody of that. I think that she is joining a Clout network that requires this kind of behavior and that she just isn't that good at it, right? I mean, that's what I think I'm seeing. Unless there is really something more going on, in which case I probably shouldn't be covering this at all if like she's in a bad place like that. I don't think she's playing that up to try and get more sympathy points. The whole video is her lying to frame herself as the victim of her attacking me. The video is scripted like a scripted PR firm. Well, no, because the PR firm would have kept it consistent, right? There's real obvious lies. There's real obvious inconsistencies. A PR firm, if they're gonna lie ambiguously, so that after the fact, after they get caught lying, they can say, oh, no, you misinterpreted what I said, right? And you look at it again and it's kind of ambiguous, right? That's how a PR firm, like, yeah, this would be a PR firm from Fiverr. This is how a Fiverr PR firm would have handled this.
A very blatant lying in the face of evidence that she already knew that was released that directly contradicts her. Just like
that's why it makes me wonder if she's okay, right? Because none of this looks good for her. Like it'll work, right? But like I said before, like she would have been fine if she just wanted to leave it at the crying wolf video where she's like this meanie, super meanie butt, Bad Empanada is coming after me. I don't know what to do. I'm super scared, right? She could have left it at that, and most of her community would have bought it. Most of the Vosh network would have bought it. They wouldn't have questioned it. She didn't need to turn that into a shitpost, right? That like undermines her whole thing. Which, yeah, it just I'm left with more questions than answers. Honestly, they'll buy it anyway. Well, yeah, you're probably right. But she's just creating more places that make it obvious that she's being disingenuous. And on some level, some of those people don't care, like, if you're being disingenuous, right? If you're attacking an acceptable target, BE is obviously an acceptable target to them, then you don't have to be consistent. Keffals played up the small bean angle to try and make Polly look bad. True. Oh yeah. Like she attacks my mod, you know, she attacks somebody with like virtually no platform. And she acts like she's being bullied. Like that's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing. So BE, if you don't know, she did something kind of similar to Polly People last week. It was you know, Polly had a Twitter thread, and you know, Keffals is so much bigger than Polly. Keffals came in there, Polly got absolutely dogpiled. They ended up having a debate. Keffals didn't really have an argument, right? So she turns around and she attacks a mod who's actually a mod for both me and Polly People, and like tries to turn the conversation to being about this mod, and actually puts this person's name up on the screen so that her whole chat can like target them, right? So this whole small bean act, it just doesn't play to me, because I've seen her be an absolute mean girl. It's the aristocracy maneuver, but Keffals is much better at it. You think so, huh? That's why it seems like Keffals sacrificed Bad Empanada on the altar for the Clout Network. Her chat was being ridiculous, like, oh my god, are you going to platform Bad Empanada? So it wouldn't surprise me if she decided to turn our conversation. So Bad Empanada, just question for you. If Keffals' chat were to know Keffals' views prior to joining the White Leaf Network, right? Would they consider Keffals to be a tanky? What do you think? Does who Keffals was before, you know, she got all this clout, does that get does that like make her a tanky by the standards of the current community that she's got? Obviously. Okay. Wow. Okay, just like I thought. You mean to tell me she would put someone on screen and lie about them? Oh my god, yeah.
Predicting her own argument.
We have seen this before, right?
2 minutes later, by arguing that it's okay when she does it because it's a Nazi, but also it's wrong for you to claim that when you do it to a Nazi, it's okay. You know, whatever. This is fucking hilarious.
Does this make Keffals a self-hating tanky?
Reacting to this really quick and uploading it because fucking hell. Amazing. Like, what else is there to say? That's fucking... This is the exemplar of streamer garbage.
Okay, so
like if you ever want to show anyone how much of a joke these streamers are, link them this specific video, and it will show them that extremely.
So what we were talking about earlier, right? I mean, this is kind of a smoking gun here. This is Keffals from before, and yeah, you can't see the last one on here. It's Marx, and then going to the left we have Stalin, and then going to the left again we have Lenin. And I can't tell entirely what books are up here, but I'm guessing there's some books that you wouldn't like knowing who Keffals is now, you wouldn't expect Keffals to have read, right? Books that, yeah, she has changed. I will vouch for the fact that she's changed a lot since I knew her, and I didn't really know her that well. Anyway, so what are we doing? We are... I think there's just one more little bit here. Oh yeah, I should speak about the ad breaks, right? So some of you may have experienced this already. Every half an hour, we have an ad break. Why is that? Because that's the only way I can save you from pre-roll ads. Pre-roll ads are the ads that come, and when you come in the stream for the first time, you get those ads. Those are pre-rolls. So we get rid of the pre-roll ads by giving you ads every half an hour. Now, I know that's not great, and I don't like the fact that, you know, people are getting sucked out of viewing like twice an hour. Like, I don't like that at all. There are ways, though, that you can get around that. The first way is to hook up your Twitch Prime to Twitch, and that gives you a free sub to use. The second way is you actually pay $5 or $6 or however much it is now right, for a sub. And once you get that sub, it gets you out of the ads. The third way is you hang out in here long enough and you talk so that somebody who's nice enough to buy a community sub will choose you as the recipient for one of those gift subs, right? And then you get your gift sub covered that way. So those are the three best ways I know for getting out of that ad break. And again, I apologize for the fact that it is twice every hour now. I don't know what else to do about it. The word filter is strong because because of constant targeted harassment. I don't know who got word filtered. One of the books is one disputing the Holodomor, which she called you out for. Yeah. So hey, question about that, right? You said that was a joke, but her audience doesn't see it as a joke, right? Like, because when she was saying the number one of the top videos on Bad Empanada's channel is one where he is siding with Stalin for all this bad stuff that happened, right? That's your Holodomor video, I'm assuming. And now, you know that that's a joke, and I know that that's a joke. But I'm guessing her audience isn't in on that joke, right? They think this is literally like tanky bad. Oh, you got filtered for the G word. I mean, I was in disbelief that she'd say that, but I don't think she was joking. She's trying to appeal to her lib audience. In the moment, I couldn't do anything but laugh. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else you can do. I don't know, Dweeb-chan. I mean, like I said, I don't know what's in Keffals' heart of hearts, right? That's a mystery to me. And there's just some strange behavior going on here, which makes me a little bit nervous about even covering this. Because, like, if somebody's having an acute crisis, that is not content to me, okay? And if you ever think that something that I cover is that, let me know, because I don't want to be that person. Like, there's a lot that we could talk about. There's a lot that people are curious about. But yeah, somebody having a real like troubled time, that's not ever what I want to cover. And like I said, here it is right here. I think this is somebody that's part of the commentary community, a hater of Keffals, literally covering this as further proof that that Keffals is deserving of the harassment that she's gotten. So yeah, it's not good. There's one more thing, right? So we watched no.
Fucking idiots.
Okay. This is the debate. Looks like it debating whether to debate. All that I'm interested in really is debating whether to debate. Maybe final thoughts too, yeah. Yeah, debating whether to debate. I'm curious about this part.
I don't even know.
We've already seen the debate.
If today is a good day for a conversation with Bad Empanada. I don't know if that's smart.
God, we're not seeing enough of chat to really be able to see what everybody's talking about, but people are saying that it sounded like she really wanted to have this conversation, and then the reaction of chat was like, why are you platforming the bad tanky man? Bad tanky man is bad.
Honestly. Yeah, because I don't know. Would it be good content? Yes, probably. Do I want to do it? Yes, probably. But like right now, I don't think
I'm missing what? What am I missing? I've responded and pointed out her lies. She immediately filmed another video lying that we had made up. Yeah, I saw that one, and that's so bizarre, right? Because she could have just left it at the crying wolf video. And she would have been fine. No indication of that regarding her. She tried to play it off as a joke. With the DMs, she's trying to turn it into a joke on her channel. And that the stuff that she's saying to you behind the scenes almost sounds like, hey, this is kayfabe. This is all fake, just play along. That's kind of what I'm getting from the behind the scenes conversation. Obviously, you're not in on that kayfabe.
I could have a serious conversation. I don't think this is right today. I think I'm going to cancel it. I think I'm just going to hang out. The energy's lacking, right? Like, I can't do it. Am I going to postpone the chat? Yeah, I think I'm going to postpone the chat. Like, I feel like that's a bad idea, honestly. Like, I don't think I can do that today. I think I'm just going to hang out. I have 20 minutes to decide whether or not I should debut Bad Empanada. Did my sex buddy Vosh? Really? I just went live? All right. Bad Empanada. Why are your chatters?
Okay, so there's like Bad Empanada fans in the chat, and this part of the video is called Bad Empanada and his fans being weird. I feel like I gotta say, like, Bad Empanada and his fans are weird. They are truly profoundly weird people, but they are not the ones making it weird in this situation. That would be you, Keffals.
I love it. It's like someone comes into chat. Does your sex pest buddy Vosh tell you to bail an empanada? What the fuck is this? I'm just genuine.
Yeah, I mean, like, and what makes it worse, like, right, lying about being sex buddies or whatever the hell, right? What makes it worse is that she does have a really large, or rather large platform. Maybe not on YouTube, but definitely on Twitch, right? So a lot of people are hearing this, and I guess taking it for... I mean, did she... Well, I mean, did she say this on Twitch too, or is this only going out to the YouTube crowd? At the very least, it's kind of creepy, kind of inappropriate. Yeah, I would be angry if someone canceled going out to a bar 18 minutes beforehand, let alone when we're both streamers with a scheduled talk that we had publicized.
I'm genuinely sad that you started platforming shitty people so they can pretend they're not shitty people. I'm genuinely sad that you are so fucking stupid that you didn't even understand the purpose of why I had Keemstar on the show and that I humiliated him. You platformed him? Holy fuck.
Well, this is the thing, like, right, you say that you humiliated him, but that's not how the stream read to at least a lot of people that were watching, right? In order to keep him on, right, in order to, you know, you had to sort of play nice with him, and some people will just read your demeanor towards another streamer as being, this person's okay. That, you know, even if you call them out on some stuff, even if you ask them to answer some questions that they're not comfortable with, they're going to think that you're at least okay with them enough to treat them, you know, like a, you know what I mean? Like that, like, right? She didn't tell me she didn't want to cancel because she was uncomfortable. She said it was because she was drunk. But if I'm her friend, as she claims, obviously her being drunk and having a friendly conversation would be fine. It seems like she wanted to bail because her chat was angry at her talking to me. That makes sense.
What is with these people? You don't know what platforming means. Like, are you that fucking dumb that you think platforming is bringing someone on your stream with 5 million YouTube subscribers? I got platformed by him. That was the fucking
So we've heard this argument before, right? You literally cannot platform someone who is bigger than you. And it's not true because of audience bifurcation. The kind of viewer that Keffals has is fundamentally different than the kind of viewers that Keemstar has. The kind of viewer that Keffals has is by nature not interested and not open to what Keemstar has to say. However, if you bring such a person on, and we saw this with Vosh and Eris, right? Vosh claims to be a leftist. Like, I'm not sure exactly what Vosh's takes on Palestine are, but they're a lot different than Eris's. Vosh's official stance on Palestinian issues are fundamentally different than Eris's, right? And yet Vosh brought Eris on, you know, treated her in a certain way, defended her when she got into conflict. To his chat, that makes it seem like, you know, she's not a far-right monarchist weirdo, like doobie politics server kind of person, right? So you've got people in the Vosh community, and I swear to God, that are convinced that Eris is a leftist. Because why else would Vosh have her on? It's the same kind of thing. When you bring Keemstar on, you're causing an audience that wouldn't have anything to do with him to take a second look at him. And even if you're just playing the game of like, okay, well, I'm pretending to be nice to him, but I'm gonna make him answer some really uncomfortable questions. I'm gonna embarrass him. That doesn't always come across. Like I said, not everybody. Okay, so look at this video. This is a 35-minute video, okay? Let me tell you how YouTube works, all right? If you look on your back end, you get a percentage of what the average amount of the video that somebody watched was, right? So you've got people that'll watch the first, little bit of it and be like, okay, I think I get the idea, enough, and click out, right? Some people have already clicked out by here, right? As you watch further in the video, more and more people. So imagine this. Imagine there's a graph. Oh God, my cursor's not showing up. But imagine there's a graph, and it starts where Keffals is. It starts at the top left corner of the screen. So we've got 100% of people watching at the very beginning of the video. Makes sense, because everybody who's clicked on the video is like in this 100%. As we go along, this line goes down and to the right. So as the line goes to the right, it goes down, right? So this is like basically people clicking off. So even if you think that, like, okay, so say this is the Keemstar video, right? And say that halfway through, Keffals just hits Keemstar with something that he cannot answer, and he looks like a complete nincompoop. He's embarrassed, right? He is mask off. But we look at the level of viewership, and it's at 30%. That's a pretty standard number. Halfway through your video, there is some chance that you're gonna have like 30% of the people watching, right? And from what I understand about, like her YouTube, I mean, this is probably about the rate that she'd have, right? So 70% of the people clicked on the video, only saw the part before the embarrassing moment. So even if you think that what you're doing is you're embarrassing somebody, you're showing them to be a fool, you're taking an audience that wants nothing to do with them and making at least some of those people reconsider that. And that is harmful. I don't know how else to say it, right? If she's my friend, then how the fuck is it wrong for me to be like, yo, what's up? You scheduled this with me. It's super weird to cancel 18 minutes beforehand. I made time for this. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to be, upset about that. It's different to say she can cancel at any time versus it's normal for her to try and reframe herself as a victim of peer pressure because you were annoyed that she canceled and ruined your stream. Both are correct. 100% allowed to be annoyed. Yeah, you're allowed to be annoyed, and she's allowed to cancel. True. Reminds me of Alex Jones getting confronted with his own cell phone logs, still pretending like it was ever, like whatever was shown exonerates him. Unless, yeah.
Opposite of what happened. Holy shit, like no more of this. No more fucking idiots, okay? I was having a really chill stream, and then all of this shit happened. Am I platforming Bad Empanada or not? Get the fuck out of my chat. You're banned. All right, now I'll have the chat with Bad Empanada.
Hello.
Okay, so there's the start of the video. We've already heard this debate. Now, Bad Empanada, other question. Have you watched this video, one? And two, is there selective editing that makes, that changes the appearance of what happened? Because a lot of times this happens. Like, a lot of times when somebody, when there's a confrontation on stream, sometimes there's selective editing that's done to give a different impression to the audience that's watching on YouTube versus what actually happened on stream. Okay, so here's the final thoughts. That might be interesting too. We haven't seen this yet.
There's something, fuck. So Logan Paul's giving my cat an abortion. I gotta go. Okay. All right. I couldn't.
I mean, that happens. Sometimes Logan Paul's performing surgery on your cat and you have to go, I guess.
I couldn't fucking do that. I'm done. I ended the call. I didn't want to be in the call. The vibes just went from like good to real fucked real fast. And it's like,
okay, well, I'm not going to spend any time going over the debate again. It was painful enough to watch the first time. I'm not going to watch it again. But yeah, just know that there's some chance that what's in here isn't all of, that there might be some context missing from Keffals' version of the debate.
I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, no, I don't trust him at all. Like, he was gaslighting me the whole conversation and then telling me to calm down. And then he decided to just like completely turn around further into the conversation and say, okay, I can see this is bad. I didn't want to, like, at that point, it's just like, I'm too mad. It's like, he kept trying to gaslight me into thinking I was doing what he was doing. And then, you know, like he was trying to say, okay, that his behavior was acceptable because this is all show. But then he also expected me to take his opinion seriously. And it can't be both. It's either it's all show or you have serious opinions. I don't think that you can have both of these things at the same time. I have some streams where I just want to have a fun time. And I have other streams where I'm being very serious. I have to separate those. It's like I have like two separate personas on stream. Like I have one where I'm dressing up and I'm less serious, and dressing down I'm more serious. Just
okay, so chat, I'm curious about this, right? Do you see how she's got a lot of jump cuts, right? There's a lot of editing here. And I'm guessing if she's anything like me, that's cutting out uhs, and just like meandering thoughts that aren't that interesting. Would you rather have videos from me that have a lot of cuts, but that get to the point, right? Where your time isn't wasted? Or would you rather have videos of me just being natural where you don't have the cuts? What I'm wondering is, like, are the cuts more disruptive than they are useful?
Like, know that it's like people understand that there's a difference. And when I'm trying to be really serious, for instance, I don't really like when people are fucking hitting on me. Okay, Bad Empanada just messaged me again and said, I don't think that went how you had planned, but I hope it helped you get closer to the circles you were.
Cuts are better in a situation like this for, wait, they're better, but in a situation like, yeah, that's true. It's kind of sus when you have cuts in a place where you might want to reframe what happened.
Trying to appeal to.
You prefer the cuts. Cuts are fine.
It's all a game to him.
Some people voting for cuts here.
Like, come on, dude. Like, I wanted him on because I wanted to discuss, like, the shit that we had with Luna Oi. I didn't even want to discuss, like, what we discussed. I'm surprised it didn't come up. It didn't come up because I decided not to do the call. I didn't want to do the call, and after I had planned it, and then he decided to come into the chat and harass me about it, and he had his chatters come in and harass me about it. So I decided to have the call even though I did not want to have the call. So that situation was really dumb. I don't even know, like, where to go from here.
So she's saying she felt pressured by your chatters to doing the debate because people would have said that she was running otherwise? Is that what she's basically... no editing is lazy and unprofessional. I mean, like, you can tell, like, I do a lot of editing in my videos. Sometimes it bothers people, though. Some people complain about it. I never know.
The whole thing is gaslighting people into agreeing with him by stringing together nonsensical arguments. He just did the same thing. That's literally...
I feel like I sound a lot smarter without the ums and uhs and likes and you knows.
The exact same thing he did to me. Like, he was trying to compare a 20-year-old Twitter poster to a Nazi. How do you do that? Like, how do you fucking do... I don't understand how you get there to that point. Back to fun stream? I want to. I need to figure out how to get back to fun stream. I told him in DMs, I do not want to have this conversation. He said, I already went live. What the hell? And then he came in and he's like, why aren't you platforming Bad Empanada? So I banned him and got mad and went on, even though I didn't want to. Yeah, no, that was a very upsetting situation. And I'm convinced that guy's an abuser, honestly. That was fucked. Like, he starts off the conversation saying, like, he knows him, and then he doesn't know him, and then he knows him. And
this looks bad. This is what she said live on stream right after the debate. So, you know, like, the problem that I had with her, I mean, obviously the debate was ridiculous, but what was really problematic was the post that was like, this guy's harassing me. What do I do? This bad tanky's coming after me and I don't know what to do. But this is even worse. That's a pretty yikes accusation. Which one? Also, welcome to the stream. What are those things on your arms and wrist? I don't know. Things? She legitimately is trying to claim that you need to remember everything that's ever happened after she said herself that the guy is... Yeah, it's like a... What does this mean? Are you saying I'm a detective? Because there's probably, like, better ways to say that wouldn't get, like, mischaracterized by somebody who didn't have your, who wanted to show you in a less than stellar light, right?
He didn't do it, but he might have done it, but he definitely didn't do it. Like, he would say anything
like
to get...
you could say Nancy Drew, there you go. That's probably, yeah. I'm just helping you out, Bad Empanada. I'm just helping you out, right?
In that situation. He was trying to get me to talk more.
They wear those gloves? The Hardy Boys? Wait, how do you... isn't the Hardy Boys like a book or something?
about like the original conversation that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not doing that either. I'm absolutely done. Something to laugh at. Gringo, subhuman, fascist, anime, masturbator, morbidly obese. Dude, this isn't the Pornhub search bar. God. All right, now Bad Empanada.
I've never watched. They're a wrestling team. They're a wrestling team. So you're comparing me to male wrestlers. Wonderful.
In my fucking DM saying, lol, you're calling me abuser on your stream after admitting to doing the same thing you said I did. I did that to a neo-Nazi who literally wants me dead.
Look, Bad Empanada, just for context, right? When Dylan Burns wanted to do like, you know, was trying to do like wrestling stuff with me, I said kayfabe, right? I said that he's practicing kayfabe. I thought it was pretty fab that he was lying about me. I thought it was entirely fab, and he corrected me that it's actually pronounced kayfabe. So that's how much I know about wrestling, honestly.
Guy's fucking crazy. I can't take this. All right. Okay. No. He's just like essay posting at me. It's like really misogynistic. I keep getting this specifically from him, that all of my actions are.
I'm messing around with you, yes, but I'm also trying to help you.
Because of Vosh. And that I'm not an independent person. Like, there has to be a man involved, right? There has to be like a guy who's like manipulating my behavior. And this is all because I was like, dude, you shouldn't have told my friend to kill themselves. That's fucked up. All right, I just said you're insane and I don't feel comfortable talking to you, and I blocked him. Like, content is content, but this guy is fucking creepy. Are you aware at the time he said all Israelis should be executed?
Okay, so this whole narrative of Bad Empanada being a crazed stalker is already being set up right after the debate. This is already going down.
That's an insanely deranged statement. The Australian who moves to Argentina and then accuses other people of being colonized. Like, dude, you're no less of a colonizer just because you left Australia. Like, that's not how that works. He ducked Shark 3030. Why would he do that?
You ducked Shark. How? Wait, where is this? Is a chatter saying that she's just reading chat, I guess. I remember the opposite happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Bad Empanada wanted to come on, and Shark didn't. Why do people take Shark seriously? I'm not sure.
I don't understand. Like, I didn't even bring Vosh into this.
Immigrating is not the same as colonizing.
This isn't about Vosh.
Yeah, like, look, if you're living in a colonized place, like moving to another colonized place does not make you, like, it's not double colonization. It's not. That's not how it works.
Nowhere in that fight. I'm not going to defend Vosh. I don't care. Vosh can fucking defend himself. He's a grown man. I don't run fucking interference for anything. I'm so sick of like people trying to judge me based on other people's shit. I think what you're seeing is resentment. For streamers on the left, you're already.
Look, you could say that before you joined the White Leaf Network, but you are literally using like Vosh's sysadmin as your site administrator, right? Like, if you blow up at Vosh, you lose that website. Ask Rose Wrist, right? If you do anything to upset, like, you know, White Nervosa, Vosh, any of these people, right? Your website is gone. So yeah, you are kind of tied at the hip to Vosh, right?
More successful than most will ever be. I barely even cover politics. Most of what I do now is literally just cover fucking drama and play Raft. I'm gonna play Raft. You know, I think that'll help me chill out, because like I fucking can't stand these bitches. Jesus Christ.
Cancel NCC. Wait, what is this? Cancel NCC. Are we canceling me for not knowing more about kickboxing? Oh yeah, I know more about kickboxing than pro wrestling. True. The Hardy Boys. Okay, so the Hardy Boys are like wrestlers. They're more than just like a young adult detective novel that I never read. They're also a wrestling tag team that I never watched. Yeah, I don't know anything about wrestling, B. I know about MMA and kickboxing. Okay, well that is that. Wait, is there anything I missed? Please do not talk about the Hardy Boys. I don't know. I just know those guys wore ludicrous outfits, and that's what one thing that NCC is famous for, is ludicrous outfits. So you came in here to make fun of my outfit. Is that correct? Is that what I'm getting? Anyway, I don't think there's anything else. Yes. Okay. Just clarifying. All right, so yeah, like let's do a little segment. So you see this sponsorship up here, Babbel? Some people are asking me, what exactly is Babel, NCC? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. I will tell you, okay? It's one of the top language learning apps out there. How do you not know this already, right? You may be familiar with some other language learning apps, but those language learning apps are all subpar. I'm trying to put you onto the real stuff here. I'm trying to put you onto Babbel. If you want to learn a language, this is an app that is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. Imagine that. In just 3 weeks, you could be speaking French, German, Dutch, Polish, Indonesian, any of many languages that that Babbel has, right? And this comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee, right? So why would you want to learn a language? That's a good question, right? You might want to learn it because you're traveling. You're traveling to another place, and you want to be able to speak the language where you're at, and you want to be able to, at the very least, when you're going to the Netherlands, tell somebody, Ik spreek geen Nederlander. And that way they'll know you don't speak Dutch, and they'll ask you if maybe you speak German, and they'll try to speak German with you. And then you'll say, I don't speak German. What is that? Ich spreek kein Deutsch, right? And then maybe they'll have English. Maybe they'll have English. They'll probably have English, right? Because it's the Netherlands, right? But anyway, family and friend connections. Let's say that you have a relative in France and you want to speak to them in France. That's in French, right? Or a relative in Belgium, even, let's say, right? Southern Belgium. And you know that they speak French, not Dutch and not Frisian and not any other language, but not any of the many languages that are spoken in Belgium. They actually speak French, right? You could talk to that family member in their native language, right? And give their brain a rest for once. Professional development. Maybe you got some business in one of these countries. Maybe you got some business in Indonesia and you want to impress people that you're going to meet with at dinner with your knowledge of how to speak Indonesian. And let's just say maybe you just want to improve yourself, right? You want to learn something, you want to use your brain, Babbel can help you with that too, right? So for a limited time, you can get 60% off and learn a new language in 2023. You can, you're going to be able to understand real world conversations, not just words, right? You know how like weebs, they like me, myself, like we know like Nani means what, and we know that like San is kind of like Mr. and Chan is kind of like, you know, for a girl, right? We know certain things. Senpai is an older student. Sensei is your teacher. Sama is somebody that you know has some kind of official position over you, but you can't really speak in Japanese, right? That's you know another thing that this can help with is actually helping you become conversational, and that's what it's focused on: practical conversations about travel, business, relationships, and more. So you know if you want to check that out, just hit the exclamation point Babbel, and you'll be babbling in a different language really soon. If she really thought that what she claimed I did was wrong, she would have confronted Vosh on doing way worse already. Yeah, it's a little bit disingenuous. I don't know. Oh, Glow. I've never seen Glow. I've heard it. Wait, what is Glow even on? I thought the guy who shouted woo seemed kind of fun. Who shouts woo? I don't even know. I think it's interesting how she spins me bringing Vosh to point out her inconsistency when he did the same thing except was way worse and is her BFF as me trying to claim she's responsible. Well, I mean, worse than just a BFF, right? Because what we got is Keffals taking advice from Vosh. Like, listen, kid, I'll help you out. Let me show you the ropes, right? That's what Vosh came in and said to Keffals. And she should have told him, you know, where to stick it. But instead, she's, like, listening to him. And if you notice that Keffals doesn't apologize when she's, you know, blatantly wrong about something, that's why. Vosh told her it is better to not apologize even when you're wrong. And like, yeah, a lot of the bad ideas, a lot of the things that she's doing right now are directly